John, how you feeling? Everything good? I just sent you a bunch of pictures of the team, so you have reference of them, so you know who's who.
Okay, got it.
Got it? Cool. The draft already happened, right? So the draft today, it's basically the teams that are playing. They're gonna do player draft. They're gonna see who's gonna play who, and then we'll go from there. But anyways, have fun.
They don't know enemy is drafting against them, right?
They don't. It's gonna be live, and we're gonna show that graphics, and we're gonna update it live while they pick it, and that's where you guys could talk about it too. Cool. And then once the matches is all set, we're gonna go into the game.
So let's say Drew will pick like G1 person against Daniel picking a G3, then Drew will realize that
Right. But that's the fun part. So, but you could use that as an advantage too. It depends how you use it. So, but at the end. Were you pushing it hot mic?
Mic's hot right now.
Everybody, let's get ready for America's Summer Champions League!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2025 Americas Summit Champions Peak. This is day one. My name's Evan, and with me today at the virtual desk, it's Sean B. What's going on, Sean?
Hi, Evan. It is so nice to be here on the America Summit together with you, and we're going to be watching some amazing RTA matches. And this time, America Summit is bringing an entirely new format that we have never seen before in the summoners or competitive scene, and I can't wait to see what that's going to be, Evan.
Yeah, it's actually kind of crazy. For folks in chat, so normally when we have a tournament, we line people up in a bracket and we just make them fight through it. This is not like that at all. Instead, what we've got is 5 different teams led by team captains from all through the Americas regions. They've hand-selected players for their comps, and today we're going to be having 4 of them compete against each other. Ultimately, it's going to be a round-robin format, so every single one of the teams is going to fight each other before the playoffs and the finals. But what's really cool is that they're going to be doing player drafts today. Very reminiscent of an actual pick ban phase in RTA. So they're going to be able to choose what players they want to go up against the players that their opponents pick in that matchup. Here we go, guys. We kind of lightly touched on it here. So as we're in these days of the Americas Summit, players are going to be accumulating points for their teams, and every single win counts. But ultimately, only 3 teams can move forward to the finals. This is going to be big. This is the first step in the journey to the summit, the Champions Peak. This is the schedule of all the tournament days leading up to it. So make sure you never miss a beat for everything related to the summit. And you can also give us a follow on our social media channels too. We'll make sure you never forget a day. And of course, all the teams are fighting for their slice of a huge prize pool, with first place taking away $7,500. So yeah, Sean, there's a lot on the line for these players.
Yeah, that is a huge prize money for sure. And it is very exciting that not only they are drafting monsters, the team captains have to draft the players accordingly so that they can get the advantage against the other player, because not everyone in their team is equal. Unfortunately, there'll be like top G3 and then mid G3 and then low G3 players. So if you pair a low G3 against a top G3, the chance of a low G3 might not be as good. And look, we are introducing the captains for the America Summit, and they are very familiar to you guys. Ex-WC player, streamers, and everyone already know. I think the first one's True Whale. We got Daniel Carioca. We have a Mandita, and there are many other faces like Zazas. And last is gonna be Topa V. And in each team, there's also familiar faces that you have seen before, either on stream or in the SWC NA scene.
Yeah, a lot of these players, like you said, Sean, they stream or they've been in competitive Summoners War throughout other opportunities here. So a lot of household names throwing down today. And like Sean alluded to as well in that video we saw, that was a brief look at the call when these team captains actually drafted these players live. So all the players other than the team captains were in a pool and they took turns drafting. And so now they've had their teams and they've had time to strategize. Probably the coolest thing to me, Sean, about the summit is the fact that there's so much strategy before you even get into a game. Like you mentioned, where it's like you're drafting the players for your team in the beginning, and then you set them up in the matchups.
Exactly. And also, when you know certain players can play in a certain way, you can maybe choose a player to go against the other player that is more favorable, because a turn 2 guy may have trouble against like a CC cleave guy, for example. So it's like choosing your Pokemon for team captains so that your Pokemon can use their skill accordingly.
Yes, truly. So we foreshadowed it earlier, but today we have 4 of the 5 teams here. The first matchup is between True Dolphins, led by Mendieta, versus Tears and Topa V. That one's led by Topa V over there. So they got some pretty cool folks on the team there, Sean. Like looking over at the Tears members, El Mimo's on there with Topa V at the lead. Absy's on there too.
Yeah, many strong players, and we even get to see their cam, I think, in real time, so we can see if they're angry or not when they lose. That's gonna be very funny.
Yeah, and
because I think for a lot of cups, we don't get to see that, so it's gonna be very fun.
Because my favorite part about SWC and even recently the invitational tournament that we had for the COM2US USA Influencer Invitational Tournament. That one, we had players live cams, but it's so rare that you get to see the entire team on a call together. What you guys are looking at in chat right now, this is the team True Dolphins led by Mendieta. So, you can see Big V's in there. Amadeus, he's a streamer too. Again, guys, go follow these folks. If you see some games and you like the way they play, odds are they probably stream. So give them a follow over there. Do you have any favorites amongst the team that we're looking at right now, Sean?
Man, it's gonna be really hard because we could for
Angel
in
Mon
every
trade me
single
over to-
team, to be honest. So it's gonna be very hard to
Once
root
we
for one team because, like, I'm very excited to see what Amo's gonna bring to the table, what Rhino's gonna bring to the table because they are streamers for the NA scene, but we don't get to see them play competitively against other SWC player all the time. So I can't wait to see what is gonna happen. I think the first match is gonna be between Amo and Absy here.
Oh, wow. That's a big choice. Actually, you know what's so funny is I know that chat, we've actually got both of those players in chat right now, too, and they're commenting. So I love to hear what you guys are thinking of the matchup. Cool choice. Again, guys, for folks who are maybe joining a little bit late, our teams are literally choosing the matchups as we go right now. So they're going to be taking turns.
Probably 5
choosing,
seconds
and
around
like
your
a pick
pick.
band
So if you
phase
say
too.
anything near
Goes
there,
one choice, then
it
two
will be heard on
choices.
stream
The other
in
team
case that
responds with
matters.
2 choices, and then we finish it. We go like that until all of the matches are populated.
I think the funny thing is the more you stream, the more exposed you are to the enemy. Like Amo stream all the time, and I see Absy and Amo's chat all the time as well, which mean he already know, oh, Amo best Swift is on XYZ unit. He has wheel routes here and there. So that's gonna be a bit of a disadvantage.
Man, we talk about how important it is to do your homework. And when you're a streamer, you're just making it easier for people to do their homework in matches like this, because so much of this happens before the game even starts, right? So right now there's strategy here in choosing their match. Looks like we might have had a redecision there, which is a great segue, by the way, to the last point of strategy that I'd like to make everyone aware of right now. So after all the matchups have been chosen, these team captains will have the opportunity to use what's colloquially known as an Angel Mon. What an Angel Mon is in terms of the Americas Summit is it gives the team captains an opportunity to swap a matchup. They can literally choose where they'd like one of their players to go instead. Notably, the other team captain would then have a chance to respond and use one of their own. But where the strategy really comes in is that these teams only have 3 for the entire season. So they can't use one every single tournament. That's just not the way the math works out.
Also, I think the worst feeling is when you use that and you choose a matchup that you think is favorable, and somehow the weaker guy just happen to like, oh, I'm gonna resist everything today.
That's a
That'd
really
be the
good point.
worst feeling ever.
It's like you think it's going to be favorable, and then they just dunk. That would be awful. Oh my god.
El Mimo.
It's like, or they just confidently
right?
don't use an Angel Mon back. They just like, yeah, we'll take that. We don't care.
That'll be the worst feeling ever. So I think match number 2 is gonna be between David and Stay Hive. Match number 3, you got Zax and Big V. But I think as far as I know, they don't know who they are fighting against. So they are both throwing out blind picks, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, thereabouts. And then so Amadeus and Absy are in chat again, like I mentioned too. And Absy says that the matchup's going to be a little bit weird because they share quite a few LDs. So we're going to see a lot of battling over those in the pick ban phase.
Oh, that'd be very interesting too. I want to see a match where both pick 5 LD5. Okay, let's start off strong with something strange and weird. Because I know they're listening right now. Come on, like you guys have like 20 LD5. Okay, you can easily pick 5 out of that.
100%. Let's get some content picks going. Again, this is best of 3 though for chat. I don't think that's actually come up yet. These are going to be best of 3 the whole way through. So that means there's not a whole lot of time to get to know your opponent in terms of like feeling them out in the pick ban phase and trying something new. I hope that doesn't dissuade someone from doing what Sean just suggested though, because I'd love a 5 LD5 game.
Because I've been watching the European League as well, and that happened for like one time. They did it for fun, where they both picked like 5 LD5, and that was kind of exciting to see because a lot of LD5 are not as good as others, but when you see like 10 not as good LD5 fighting one another, it's like a very, very rare sight to see.
Yeah, that's something that normally you wouldn't get to see it in a tournament scene. Says, are Evan and Sean B going to do a push-up battle? That's a different kind of tournament. You know what? Neither do I. That's what makes it fun. One day, maybe
that's
one
like a
day,
side
chat.
bet now.
Yeah, exactly. That's like we'll call that an exhibition match for one of the Americas Summit. We'll do that for like a finals match or something. I hope Backend's not taking notes right now. I can hear someone writing that down. Stop writing that down. So I imagine that the matchups are almost fully decided at this point. Once all of them have been placed, the team captains are going to get that opportunity to see if they want to use an Angel Mon. So if they're not satisfied with the matchup right now, maybe they don't want Absy to have to struggle to get his LDs versus Amadeus, they can kind of reassign. And then the other team captain will have that chance to respond with their own. I'd love to see if they decide to use it. Sean, I actually think that maybe it wouldn't be such a good idea to use it this early on in the summit, considering they only get 3.
True, and I think they need to also see how their players are actually playing, because when they choose these players, they are choosing based on their past performance, right? But maybe right now they're stronger or weaker, they don't know yet. So I think the first is going to be for the team captain to also see how strong their team actually is, like if they put the faith in the right person or not.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if that graphic means that now it's time for them to confer about whether or not to use Angel Mon. I think that's what they're doing. They're thinking about whether or not they want to use it. So couple really cool matchups. Again, we've mentioned it. Amadeus versus Absy has now been swapped for Topa. So confirmed, Topa V did call for an Angel Mon right there. He's potentially hoping to get maybe a 2-0 there, Sean. Maybe that's what he's trying to go for.
Oh, so I think he swapped, and now he's fighting Amo, and he's swapping Absy to be in the middle ground. Interestingly, so it means Topa is very confident that he's gonna absolutely destroy Amo in the very first battle to get the momentum going for the team.
Oh my God, I'd love to hear a comment, by the way, from I know Ammo's in chat. I think Topa was in chat earlier too. If you guys care to comment right now, we could do a little journalism on the fly. Ammo says, boo! That's awesome. Oh my God, Jay Gray saying Absy's scared. Whoa, these accusations. The allegations are crazy. Amadeus versus Topa V is confirmed. So that means there was no Angel Mon used from the side of True Dolphins, which is actually kind of impressive because that means Ammo is actually not afraid right now, Sean.
All right, let's see if Amo brings the Amo to the fight against Topa V in the very first round. Which one's going to kick off the America Summit with a W? It's going to be a best of 3, but even if you win one game in the best of 3, it will count as 1 point towards the end, because we'll be playing for many weeks, many days, moving to the playoff, and any win you can get is a 1 point to your team. So here we go, guys. Amo and Topa. Let's see what's going to be the pre-bet.
Oh, wow. Yes, and you explained it perfectly, Sean. So there's extra weight on this because that means a 2-0 is extra devastating, because that means that the player who got the O did not contribute any points to their team. And it's all going to be accumulated over the course of multiple weeks leading up to the finals here. And that will be what decides what 3 teams move forward. I don't even know where to begin with this pre-ban phase here, Sean. If you're Amo, what do you want to what do you pre-ban?
So Topa is a very well-known ragdoll player, and Amo is actually an LD CC cleave player, which can be quite challenging for Topa to fight because Topa is not very confident in his Swift rune, and Amo does have a wound cell, which was banned out immediately. And Amo is actually going for the most, how do I say this? One of the most popular and highest win rate elemental unit in G3 RTA right now. That is the Jongnam. Very strong draft, and Topa's breaking the combo right now. Is the top combo in RTA, the Oliver Sekhmet Jongnam, to replace the Chandra Cigar Velaju Evan.
Yeah, it's a new Holy Trinity, the up-and-coming Holy Trinity to replace that combo there. Yeah, Jongnam, so potent, and Amo is trying to increase that potency with the Light Totemist to bring down the cooldown times to make sure that he can keep stun and freeze locking you. Topa follows up with Smicer and Velajul over there, Sean.
I think that's pretty solid. I think Smicer is something that I've been trying to pick up to fight Jongnam because I don't have Jongnam, so I'm fighting Jongnam all the time in high rank RTA, and having a win unit right there that can be stunned but still provide value is quite something to deal with for Amo. And I think Ella is also a very underrated LD5 in RTA because she seems like a very one-dimensional healer, but when you actually fight her in the game where you cannot reset her, you cannot silence her skill 4, it gets very ridiculous very soon. And Amo is gonna go with double fire to counter Topa no water draft.
The Fire Monkey King is one of my favorite units in RTA right now, just in general. The sheer amount of power he brings thanks to his passive is just fantastic. He's just a one unit that you can just rely on at any given time. And I'm glad to hear you say that about Ella, because I respect the Ella for that reason, that you can't silence that 4th skill.
Yeah, Ella is just crazy in the right situation. But I'm not sure about the Fire Monkey King though, because right now Amo is rocking a fire carry unit against Topa AoE heal block defense break, and there are 2 more defense break coming out after that. I think that's why Fire Monkey King is getting a bit less popular in high rank because of the rise of segment, and also many fire unit can provide defense break to destroy the Fire Monkey King. And Amo doesn't have any cleansing as well in the team. He does have a bit of healing in Ella and Jongnam, but the lack of cleansing might be troublesome for Amo here.
Yeah, and that actually kind of surprised me too. I was almost expecting to see the Masha get banned just so that way the burst damage from this skill 2 might be dissuaded. Oh, you can almost see Topa's already almost claimed a unit in that Chiwu.
I think trying to claim Chiwu early might be a bad play because Chiwu value is almost entirely in the first turn, which he has already done. So I think trying to claim the Fire Monkey King should be the focus here. And the good thing for Amo is that he got turn 1, he got control going, and Marsha's going down very quickly. And I also think the popularity of Jongnam is what pushed Marsha out of the meta a little bit, because as you can see, Marsha is already almost dead on Jongnam's skill 2, which is incredibly strong.
Oh yeah, true damage on that skill is crazy, and I 100% agree with you. I was a little bit surprised to see all that damage go into the Chiwu, because I know that he can be detrimental to the Velajul's 3rd skill, but ultimately what Amo would want to open that team up for is damage from the Fire Monkey King. So you might as well cut out the middleman and go for the monkey.
So I kind of heard the stream and ditched the Chiwu, even though Chiwu is in literally killing zone. So now Monkey's in trouble, because you see right there, right? Monkey, even though can be built quite tanky, but with a simple defense break and a crit here and there from a strong nuker, it's going down very quickly.
Yeah, he's just a little ways away, although securing the kill on the Masha might actually get him another turn, which is crazy to say, but that was actually pretty important, especially now that Topa's shifted targets to making sure that the Jongnam and the Ella are suitably increased in terms of their cooldown time.
And now, as you can see, even though Topa started off not very good with the AoE strip and AoE stun coming out from Amo, but I think Amo team, even though he's trying to go for control, was lacking the what do I call this? Someone in my Discord server described control team very well. Is that there are 4 factors to a control team that's very important, which is pushback, slow, stun, and increase cooldown time. And Amo team only had a small pushback and a stun, which could not keep Topa control for too long. And the moment Velajul popped the skill 3, Amo control power is pretty much over, and now Topa is doing the control part.
Yeah, it's almost like the pendulum has swung back in the other direction, and now Topa's getting that control that Amo was hoping for. So looking ahead to the next game here, Sean, what would you prefer Amo take in his next draft?
I think if he could just take a different monster instead of Fire Monkey King and put on a stronger control on Topa's team, that could have been way better, because I know he can and he's very used to the control playstyle, but he went with a unit that he hoped would solo carry that could not solo carry. And it got absolutely destroyed very quickly with a simple defense break. So I think it's the last pick that really messed up Amo's vibe here.
It was almost a step backwards from the strategy. It was kind of just letting Topa have his strategy. It was more responsive. You know, Amo kind of started out with a very solid plan where he wanted to get that control off the ground early, but bringing the Fire Monkey King kind of said that he was yielding that, and he just wanted to try to outlast, not get stunned, etc.
Pretty much. I think it's a very classic move in drafting an RTA2 for Amo. It's like you pick a control team and then you pick a unit that could solo carry. That will remind you of something like picking a Douglas into a full win team, something like that from the enemy. But the Fire Monkey King here was not the one that could solo the entire enemy team. And now we're seeing pre-ban of unit that we just saw in the match. Segment being one of the most popular fire unit in RTA right now, with a very strong turn 1 presence, and Ella is just very, very annoying. Even though Topa beat that unit confidently, he definitely doesn't want to play with it. And you can see the the Holy Trinity here, Evan, is 2 in the match and 1 in the pre-ban, pretty much.
Yeah, it's as broken up as it could be in a game of RTA right now. You know, like you said, 1 in the pre-ban, not in the game. Topa chose the Jongnam. I'm wondering if that's why he pre-banned the Ella, because he knew that Amo was probably going to try to take the Oliver away from him, and that's how Topa dealt with all those cooldown times.
Yeah, now Amo is going to try to control the Jongnam, but Topa has the Ragdoll, and he can also go for the old Holy Trinity, which also pair really well with Jongnam if he wants to. But he's going for some sort of a bruiser com here, because when you fight Heigang and you're trying to go first, it can get a bit tricky because stripping Heigang is quite annoying. But fighting Heigang with a bruiser com is the way to go, because Heigang value, just like Chiwu, is against a bruiser com. He doesn't bring that much value right there. So Amo is going to go for a cleave team here with another strip and another AoE follow-up, and I kind of like to see that.
Whoa, that's exactly the sort of attitude he needs going into this game right now. Yeah, this is great, especially considering that Topa has chosen a Ragdoll. You know, he's choosing, it's slightly more stagnant than before, and it looks like Topa is ready to respond to that, and he picks a Lucia at the tail end there, just to reduce the efficacy of the attack bar reduction from Oliver and the Dark Robo.
Yeah, that's a pretty good sort of turn 2 pick here, but Amo also got the perfect answer for what Topa is doing, which is the Amber, who can provide huge damage according to number of debuff on the enemy, and also the heal block to counter the Jongnam and the Lucia healing. So I think it is going to be a Ragdoll ban, because Ragdoll is crazy. But it's gonna be Amber and Lucia ban. He's not banning Ragdoll, which means Topa can kind of cut in between and messed up Amo's vibe again.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm afraid of too, especially with, well, let's see how well the Dark Robo can reduce these attack bars here, because that's ultimately what's going to come down to it. But Jongnam is still taking turn 1, stole 1 from the Maxi. I think you do whatever you can to just stop this Maxi. In my mind, he goes for the freeze, doesn't get rewarded.
And I think that is one of the best play against Heigang team. Heigang is very strong against AoE strip, but very awkward into single target strip, which make the Maxi move in front of the team thanks to the Heigang passive. But it's a bad thing for Amo, because now Maxi is going into a wheel situation, and he could not provide any value, and he died pretty much immediately after that. So now Amo have to control a Juno without defense break, which is almost impossible to win at this point, to be honest.
Yeah, that was a difficult spot to be in. Like, that was so well done from Topa. Like you said, pushing the Maxi so he's in that awkward position in front of the Dark Robo. You hate to see that if you're Amo. I don't know how he takes down the Juno. You asked that question, and I've been trying to think of an answer, and I don't know.
Yeah, because I've been in this situation many times before. I also run the Heigang-ish team, where you're trying to AoE control them very quickly, and Heigang is somehow having one of the worst win rates in high rank RTA right now. while being one of the most popular unit at the same time, because Heigang is just like a cheat code for a lot of people, including me. And the meta is shifting heavily into single target strip without debuff. That can easily mess up Heigang team turn order. And as you can see, Amo is being picked apart very easily by Juno Ragdoll. And Topa proved it right. When he used the Angelmon, Amo was free.
Yeah, 100%. Well played. Well played by Topa V. And well done with Amo too. He put up an admirable fight there. I love the change in direction in the second game. I like that he was like, you know what? I'm going to cleave this time. Let's just put it all on the first turn and see how it goes. Fortunately, it didn't work out. Topa really well played and securing 2 points for his team, which is so important, Sean, because that means that there's no points for the enemies right now.
Exactly. So now Topa team is looking really good for the very first match, looking real strong right there. And now we're gonna move on to game 2 to see if Amos team is gonna try to get 2 points back at least, because Topa started off too strong against Amo.
Yeah, that was a really strong use of the Angelmon system there. So again, for folks who might be joining a little bit later, the 2 teams with us today are True Dolphins, led by Mendieta, and then Tears, led by Topa V. All the players got to be placed in a matchup phase, in a player draft phase that was chosen by them and their team captain. Here are the highlights from that last set that we just watched here, Sean. Here's game 2. I saw some folks in chat speculating as to whether or not the skill 3 from the Maxi was the right call. I don't think that had too much to do with it. I think it was pretty much just the skill 2 from the Jongnam pushing him up, and it's like all just like that, first turn is lost.
I think he didn't really have a play, to be honest, because the moment Maxi, your biggest follow-up has to go first, you kind of doom at that point. But what you saw right there was a rare case of Angelmon being used. I think you said you can only use that 3 times in the entire.
That's right.
In the entire thing. Was that it, Evan?
That's right. Each team only gets 3 for the entire season.
So you don't get to do that very often. So next time Topa have to put someone against Amo, he cannot just come in and be like, I'm gonna save the day and destroy Amo once again. Like that's not gonna happen very often.
Yeah, exactly. And now we're going into matchup number 2 here in a second. David versus Stay Hive.
Wait, I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not trying to be mean, but David is an ex-SWC player. Do we have any info on David?
David is fairly
sure.
new to this team. He's had appearances before. We've seen Stay Hive in SWC as well. But
yes,
so
Stay
we're
Hive
more
is
familiar
an
with
ex-SWC player. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
I'm
this
just
is
not
another big
sure.
matchup.
So for unknown players, also very hard for Topa team to estimate how strong David is, because I think there are many players in like the top 100 in RTA that you just never get to know. Like they're just there, they're just vibing, they're just winning every day, and they just top 100, but you just never know who they are ever.
Yeah, exactly. And this is an opportunity to get to know those people who you might see gracing the top 100, like you said. Oh, Amode said that the robo pick was from the timeout. He ran out of time in the pick ban phase.
Honestly, I think whatever Amo picks, he's gonna lose anyway. Because that was a rough game, man. You fighting Juno Rag, and it's just hard immediately for the kind of team that Amo was going for. Unless Amo somehow magically summoned like a Veronica on Swift plus 220, then it's like it's easy now. But that is tough. Yeah, that was a tough game for Amo for sure.
Yeah, that was a really tough matchup for him, you know, regardless. Looking ahead here, I'm wondering what Stay Hive is going to bring into this, if he's done any prep work, if there's any homework that he had, maybe had some people dig up some dirt ahead of the game. Who's to say?
But hey, Stay Hive might be rocking an incredible team. You never know. Like they're just players in the top 100 that are just so strong, and then you never know who they are. They get top 100 for a season, and then next season they're C3, just smurfing their way through, and then they're top 100 again. So it's crazy to get to know these players that are insanely strong, but nobody knows.
Yes. All right, everyone, here we go. David versus Stay Hive coming up here. We got another best of 3, match 2 in day 1 of the Americas Summit Champions Peak for 2025. We're going into the pre-ban phase right now between David and Stay Hive. No, wow, look at that. David's climbed all the way up to rank 17 in his best streak. It's like you said, Sean, it's like, you know, putting names to faces here.
And because we don't have a David cam right now, it's like he's playing from the void. You know, like look at that black background. We got for David right there.
He's still a mystery even now. He's an enigma even to this day.
Oh, I fought David before. Oh my god, David got insane LD5 on his climb. I was one of the stone he stepped on so that he can climb to G3. So let's see what he's gonna bring to the table here. Are we gonna see the holy elemental RGB Trinity? Oh my god, finally somebody put respect on his unit. I was watching the European League for weeks on end, and nobody pre-banned this guy, and they get destroyed by this guy like all the time. It's crazy.
Yeah, he deserves to be down there. Like, Jongnam deserves to be in the pre-ban phase more than anyone. Like, he just brings so much to the table. Chat, if you haven't read that skill 3 in a minute, I'd recommend you go do so. It just goes on and on and on. It seems to do everything. David's locking in a speed lead as well as the Sekhmet, trying to secure turn 1.
Oh my god, I like Stay Hive's first pick. It is my favorite unit at the moment. It's like the free-to-play Laura. It has the strip into speed buff. It has the AoE slow, AoE stun. It just doesn't do the damage that Laura can do without a 120 base speed too. But it is very solid. And he followed up with Fire Bayek, which I also been playing a lot, and locking the Ella for massive cooldown reduction as well. But David is responding with the light Gojo, or I think the Summoner's version is Vincent, who is in Seisha's word, one of the strongest RT unit right now, but was very heavily underrated by the community just a couple months ago.
Interesting. I wonder what that is something that kind of came and went with the collaboration. The Light Gojo or Werner, I just double checked. Werner, that's his original name there. He did not draw as much attention as the Dark counterpart for that one. And yeah, it's very cool to see him in a competitive setting right now, Sean.
I think because he feel a niche that LD5 did not feel before. So there are niches like Speed Lead Strip, AoE Oblivion, AoE Freeze, whatever. And for the Speed Lead Strip, it has always been More and Chiwu. And now it's this guy up here, and he's light, which means you can pick him more often. And he also bring a cleanse that is also kind of underrated in situation where you don't expect a CC unit to suddenly AoE cleanse the team, and he can do that. So he's been very, very popular, especially for players that own Laura, which can boost his damage and skill defense even higher.
Oh, and then the last pick slot, we got an Irene at the end there. I was wondering if we were going to see this unit today, actually. This is a really cool one. Kind of a follow-up to the Scroll Trap, you know, type of play. David bringing the Irene to try to lock someone away. Very cool.
I think she's getting super popular as well together with Sekhmet, because when Sekhmet Irene take turn 1, you cannot lock out 2 units immediately out of the match. But it depends on a little bit thing called accuracy resistance check, and if it works, it's insane. If it doesn't, you just went 2 turns without doing absolutely nothing to the enemy.
Exactly, and that's kind of what that was so unfortunate to see. I mean, you know that Stay Hive was relieved when that happened, right? Because David missing that was a great thing to happen for them. Here's an opportunity to see that cleanse you were talking about, Sean. It's so rare to see the same unit that's AoE stripping you and providing the speed lead to do that, to give you a cleanse with an attack.
Exactly, because if you run like a More or a Chiwu, or for the AoE strip purpose, their value kind of stop after the turn 1, and they stop being useful for like a couple turns. But this guy, after he strip, he's still providing a lot of value. He gained attack bar when you debuff his team, and his skill 1 can also stun. So it's pretty strong unit overall, and being used fairly often in G3 RTA. But because David team plan kind of fell apart immediately after the first turn, he is suffering so hard from the AoE slow and the damage and the cooldown reset from the enemy team, just picking his team apart right now.
Oh, big attack here from the Asher, the Fire Bayek, taking down the first member over there of David's team. Or that's pretty extreme. Losing a Gianna this early, that's some good tempo for Stay Hive.
For sure. And now it's just a lot of turn for the Fire Bayek to do a lot of damage. Fire Bayek is incredibly strong the moment he get like a cooldown support unit on the team. That's why in the previous sort of meta, he was very popular with the Water Twin Angel, who can provide cooldown support for the Fire Bayek so that he can keep spamming the very strong skill 3 over and over. And here we have Ella, who can do that job even better for the Fire Bayek, so he can keep doing that over and over again on the enemy team. So also I think there's an error with the image being displayed on the left side of the screen. I think David is the one that is using the... Oh wait, they fixed that. Oh, I think it was wrong.
Yeah, it was just adjusted.
But anyway, without healing, I think it's just very hard for David to kind of survive this, even though he can maybe land a control here and there.
Exactly, and you notice, because as great as Werner is at doing the cleanse and a little bit of damage and the strip like we talked about, we've sung his praises a bunch, he doesn't provide enough damage to really lock down the enemy team and be the sole damage dealer. So I think you're right here. I think David is maybe going to get a little bit outscaled as we transition into the mid to late game.
Pretty much. And I think the reason why the light... I keep calling him like Gojo. What do you say again? Werner?
Yeah, it's spelled like Werner, pronounced like Werner. Exactly.
So Werner's really good in ladder RT because there's no pre-ban. So he's often picked with light with Laura, which is insane with this guy, and maybe Tian Lang as well. So now we might get to see him with Laura, or maybe Stay Hive's gonna ban the Werner immediately over here.
Oh, and that's exactly what he does. Oh man, it left a good impression, Sean.
Exactly. He's scary because he has high base speed, so outspeeding him is going to be a bit hard. You can't really stun him with Ethna because he's too tanky. So it's a tough unit to deal with, man. And Jongnam back on the scene immediately after he get out of the pre-ban jail.
Like zero hesitation on that one, by the way. That was very funny. That was very funny to see. Yeah, David locking down the Jongnam. It's like they all just secretly want to play with that one, but you know they just can't for different reasons. And so, Sean, you mentioned that you really like the Wind Twin Angels. Tell me more about them. What do you like about them?
I think it just feels like free-to-play Laura at this point. And when I was looking for a unit that can support my control team that also provide other utility, and this guy is just perfect. Or they are just perfect as 2 units in one thing. It provides immunity, speed buff, speed debuff, and stun. So in one unit, it provides 2 of the 4 things you need for the AoE control style, which is the stun and the slow. And it also provides extra value with the AoE immunity and speed buff, so that after you are controlling them, if they manage to violent proc out, you are now protected by immunity, which is super valuable in terms of dodging the bad RNG in a way.
Yeah, you're making a really good case for them right now. I pulled those. I pulled the wind ones a while ago. Still haven't touched them too much. I think I awakened them and then just kind of left them in storage just for a little while. But I'm excited to try them. You know what's funny is also I was convinced about trying Asher for the same reason by watching tournaments for Summoner's War.
Yeah, Asher is crazy. How do I say this? Like, he didn't seem crazy when you read the skill. Oh, single target, lame, you know. But when you actually play him, you realize that he does a lot, like a lot of good stuff in one unit. And when I find myself, okay, I need a damage dealer, but I need a bit of healing, and then he just showed up. He's like the modern day Perna. You know what I'm saying? Perna back then was like, oh, I don't know what to do now. I pick Perna, and then Ashur is just like amazing in that slot.
I think you put that perfectly. He's just neutrally good. You know, when you're not sure what to pick, throw down an Asher, and all of a sudden you've got access to defense break, damage, healing, cleanse, and it gets better from there. That's all. That's crazy because it's all one skill that I just referenced.
I'm loving Stay Hive last pick here though. That is Jade, another sort of underrated unit for RTA. She has defense buff, shield, and increased cooldown time with the skill 3. So it's like a nat 5 math, but for PvP. because she can also stun and defense break at the same time. And fighting her with the shield and the defense buff is very, very, very hard. So let's see if it's actually going to work out here.
Yeah, defense buff is one of those things where it's like it just prevents so much incoming damage. Like between that, the shield, and more, she's just been a real pest in RTA as of late. She kind of arrived out of the crater that was left from the balance patch after it nuked Cigar a little bit. He's not that bad. I'm being a little hyperbolic, but you know, Jade really got the opportunity to shine after that patch.
And the cool thing about her is that she just make these units with not too long cooldown like the Wind Twin and the Moor to just have like no cooldown. But anyway, look at Assure damage, just making sure that Juno's gonna die so quickly. And then with a simple Violent Prop, one unit is dead. Like that is so fast that Stay Hive could not even react to. There was nothing that he could do to prepare for that to not happen. And now I think it might be GG.
Yeah. Perfect opportunity from David. He did a really good job finding that slot where he could just take down that Juno. Really nice proc too from Laura, but you know, if she was awake for it, she could have just taken that kill anyway. Jade is on her way out the door too.
I think what Stayham could have done is to just use the skill 3 immediately, but he went for the stun and then he left the Juno kind of a bit vulnerable to damage, and that's where the Assure is very, very good at. And most G3 Assure is actually on speed with damage HP. So it hits really hard the moment it lands a good defense break in the early hit. And that could easily take down multiple different units that is supposedly hard to take down, like Juno, Fire Monkey. And then that's where the power of Assure comes in.
Yeah, well done from David there, getting that point on the board. So now we're at the point where both of these players have secured a win, so that means they are trending positive for their team's cumulative rating towards the entirety of America's Summit today. So they're both contributing 1 point right now. Let's see who can take the win. I'm imagining that the Jongnam's probably going to arrive in the pre-ban phase again, Sean.
I think it's going to be Laura, Jongnam again, or maybe Laura and Assure, potentially. Oh, it's going to be Laura, Jongnam once again, being pre-ban, just incredible unit. Unfortunately for Stay Hive, he doesn't have Laura because the Wind Twin Angel is just a sign of I really like using Laura, but I don't have Laura, so I'm going to be using this free-to-play alternative instead.
Nice. Awesome. Okay, so Stay Hive actually taking probably the longest amount of time to think about this first pick. I feel like throughout the tournament so far, we've seen an insta-lock for that first pick. Now he's decided to go for the free-to-play Laura, like you shouted out there.
I think he could have gone for Segment or Assure if he wants to steal a unit from the enemy, because I'm not sure for David if he ever ruined a Wind Twin Angel for Stay Hive to actually take it first, because if you have Laura, you probably forget about the existence of this unit because you don't have to remember about it. So now he have the Assure, he give the enemy the Segment. I wonder if David is going to go with a different strategy here instead of relying on the Irene. He go for 2 AoE strip here in the form of LD. Very, very strong, but now David is lacking a follow-up in the last spot. So this is going to depend on the Stay Hive team, which element he's going to go for, so David can pick an appropriate counter here for the last pick.
Yeah, Stay Hive is fairly well equipped to deal with this team. The Masha definitely puts on more pressure, though, because before you could just kind of ban out either one of the facilitators, or you could ban out the detonation in Ciara, just so that way the bombs don't go off and take out a unit early. The Masha was a really good last pick to me because now all of a sudden it's threatening the Juno.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a Heigang ban pretty much, and it probably has to be the Masha ban. Oh, not betting Heigang. He's hoping for the Gojo to push back enough attack bar, because it is very similar to the Mora strip, where he strip and push back attack bar, and that soft counter Heigang if he land the attack bar pushback.
Oh, that's a lot of hope, though, Sean. He's putting a lot of faith on the light Gojo. That Werner, if he doesn't do it, then you know it's kind of rough for him.
Ooh, that increased cooldown time went on the Fire Bayak, but did not mean anything because now he has skill back with a simple violent pop. I think that's the power of this unit, is that the cooldown is so short that you can pick it into unit that reset cooldown time and it doesn't feel that bad.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good point because we saw the skill cooldown times there, and the proc got all the skills back online. And there was Gianna right there, ready and waiting to remove the immunity that the Wind Twin Angels put up. And so now it's business as usual. Oh my god, that proc for David is actually low-key huge. You could just double down and detonate, take out the Ashura. Exactly.
I think that's just over for Stay Hive. He had the Heigang protection against Gianna. He just didn't have the violent proc protection from anything else. He managed to stun the Ciara too to stop the Ciara from detonating. And I think Ashura had the skill to cleanse the bomb. But then Ciara also said hello, and then Ashura is just gone, pretty much. So I think David just got this one in the bag.
That's the worst part for Stay Hive there, and you could see it in his face in the reaction to the Ashura had the skill. He did. He could cleanse it after that because he procced on turn 1, which actually may have been the thing that shifted the scales towards David's chance to proc, considering that Stay Hive got that early Vio proc from Ashura. So it kind of shifted the rates for the proc in the background there. Now things are looking incredibly favorably for David right now.
Man, I think that is one of the most brutal thing about doing RTN summoners was that the game make you think that, oh, I have a shot here, and then you don't. It's like, oops. Yeah, just kidding, bro. You never had a chance in the first place.
Yeah, because if you don't even know to think like that, right? You know, you see the Asher proc early, and now you're like, uh-oh. Now it's more likely that David could proc here. It's like, oh, this is... That's why you ruin him on Violent, chat.
And that's why Gianna is also one of the craziest thing, because 2 of her direct counters on the field, and she just kind of didn't care about any of them. Went for the strip, Violent proc into a bomb anyway. Like, who cares about Hey Gang? I just can proc out of it.
Both. Although, you know, this is still heavily favored in David's side here. Couldn't help but notice that Gianna's damage was actually fairly low. It was only about 500 per hit on skill 1. So it takes a little bit of doing to take out this Juno.
True. I think that is where the Werner comes into play, and that he can do a lot of damage with all his skill onto the Juno. And I think most Gianna nowadays are built with bomb damage in mind and also tankiness in mind, because Sonia Ethna is still fairly popular in the meta to counter Gianna with the turn 1 stun or kill. And I think a lot of Gianna left side artifact has switched to -win, and most Gianna are now built with speed HP, and that's Juno just gonna win out to the Werner.
That was real cute at the end. Stay Hive ripping the skill 2 from Juno to try to get some lucky stuns, but ultimately David takes the second win, going 2-1 up against Stay Hive.
Yeah, David's doing the hard carry, trying to pick up where Amo left and get the 2 points for the teams. They have also managed to get 1 point though, so he's not like Amo just now that they didn't do anything.
Oh, bro, poor Amo. Sean is just dunking on it. Oh, dude. Man, that's so right now, yeah, True Dolphins feeling better right now with David taking the 2. And of course, Tears walking away with another point, so now they have a total of 3 right now to True Dolphins 2. Here are some highlights from the game that we just saw. Kudos to both of these players, man. David did a good job turning that around in a reverse sweep there, Sean.
Yeah, that was very, very strong and very scary draft coming out from David. So now the enemies know that they gotta look out for this guy. He is a very scary Laura and Werner player, and that is something that's very, very hard to counter as well.
Poor Amo in chat. But the positivity, man, I got scammed. Oh, dude, Amo, don't worry, man, because you will have more chances up ahead at the America Summit Champions Peak. Again, for folks who might be joining in a little bit later, this isn't your traditional SWC or other tournament that you see for Summoners War. This time, all these teams are playing in round robin. So that means every single team will play their opponents, every single opponent that they have available. So now we're down 2 matches today, Sean, and we're going into match 3, Zex versus Absy.
All right, here we go. We were about to see Absy playing in the very first round, but we have to push the fight down to the match 3. But then we got 2 big NA streamers fighting one another. That is going to be Zex and Absy. And Zex was also in SWC last year, but didn't make it too far because the competition was really, really tough in SWC. So let's see if Zex gonna be able to showcase all his hands in the America Summit, because as we talked about before, losing today doesn't mean that you're gonna not play in the subsequent days. You have to play throughout the entire league to find out which team is gonna qualify for the playoffs. So there are many chances for you. Even if you lose 2-0 today, there's gonna be a chance where you win 2-0 in the other day. You never know, right? Today might be a bad day. Everyone has bad day.
It's so true, man. Like, honestly, there are some days where I just realize, you know what, it's a bad day for me. I'm not going to play RTA today. You know, it's just, it's not the one. And that's the best part about the summit, because none of these players are out permanently. Like, truly, like, they'll get another shot. They can get the 2 points for their team later. It's no pressure. And that's also why it's team-based, because, you know, it's no single person. There is no I in team. Everybody's there to pick up the slack if necessary and try to pull their team into the top 3 slot so they can go forward into the finals. In chat as well, if you weren't here from the beginning, there's the Angelmon ability that can come up periodically. Every team gets an Angelmon where they can swap selections. So if they think something's unfavorable, then what they can do is they can change out that matchup. And I think that may have been what happened here for the Zex matchup, because now it's actually Zex versus El Mimo. So what might have happened there is that the bracket may not have been properly updated. So Zex versus El Mimo. How does that change things for you in your approximation of what's to come here, Sean?
Oh my God, I have nightmare about El Mimo, okay? El Mimo is living rent-free in my head every single night. About his ragdoll, his bruiser comp is absolutely brutal to fight with any soft control team. And I love doing control team. And whenever I have to fight El Mimo, I feel like hitting the X button before even the draft begins, because it's just impossible to beat this guy. It is crazy. So I don't feel... I feel bad for Zex having to fight El Mimo. It's going to be a tough game.
Oh, yeah. And look at that, chat. There's already fans for El Mimo in chat right now, too. We've seen El Mimo before, and also he is no stranger to, like, super high RTA. Like, he's frequently in the top 10 around the time when the Legend Tournament rolls around. So this should be pretty exciting. What does Zex need to bring with that kind of archetype that El Mimo likes to play in mind, Sean?
I think when you fight a Mimo, you gotta be running some potentially snipe comms or bruiser comm that also is heavily favored for having high damage output to destroy El Mimo one by one. But it's gonna be a tough game, because when you're rank 6, you know what's happening. You know what exactly counter you, and you prepare for that as well. And we're locking in some healers in the first pick. And that's a long game coming.
Wait a minute, what is going on, dude? These first picks are so eerie to me. I don't think I've ever seen. I haven't seen a Riley in the first pick slot, for even though El Mimo didn't have the legit first pick in their first pick slot, as well as the Wind Pudding Princess. Right there, that's hilarious. And Zex is bringing the content today, man, with bringing the Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, Jara's coming up in Zek's draft because he wants the damage dealer that can ignore all passive. And that's going to be the unit that he's going to go for, because Jara can stun Jäger and Fire Monkey despite them being immune to stun. And Zek's going in with another amazing unit that's going to be the Fire Assassin, which get attack bar whenever El Mimo trying to heal. So it's going to be absolutely incredible to see Assassin cut in between and assassinate one of El Mimo unit, and more one-shot coming out from Zex, because the best way to deal with these annoying passive is just to destroy them immediately.
Bro, they are cooking with this one. Chat, for real. I see Aliens Diablo saying, get your popcorn, boys and girls, for real. Buckle up, chat, because they are bringing the content picks for us today. These are some real high-level players right now. A Tyrannus. We got Ultimate Bruiser versus Ultimate Cleave. This is going to be so exciting to watch, Sean.
I think it's going to be a Jara ban here, seeing that El Mimo's locking in a couple passive. is not gonna be a Jara ban. El Mimo is gonna tank this bird, and Zach has to go all in. He gotta land his shot. This is gonna be fun to watch.
Truly, no, this is gonna be amazing. Oh, I can't wait to see this. What a pick. Okay, so here we go. Sonya starts off here, ignores defense on the Jaeger fast. Wow.
Oh my god, almost another snipe on the Fire Monkey. So Fire Monkey is gonna live to see another turn here. But for how long? Because these units are ready to go. The moment he takes off his invincibility, it is immediately over. Going straight for the bird. But the bird is rather tanky. Live to see another day as well.
Yeah, surprisingly strong to not falter to a Fire Monkey King that is attack buff too. And now Pontos is trying to throw out some silences here. Again, like you said, Sean, it's a waiting game if you're on Zex's side here. You're just trying to wait for that invincibility to fall off. And now that Fire Monkey King does not seem like he is long for this world.
And as we predicted, the assassin assassinated the monkey because she got 5 stack from Riley healing. The skill 1 can also do very good damage. Zex was like, that was too easy, bro. That was too easy. He was absolutely cooking El Mimo right there, and I love to see that.
That was so sick. He is doing such a cool evolution of like the snipe archetype right now, because Lexi is one of those monsters that's like appeared in a bunch of balance patches, and everybody's thought about her, how cool she can be, and it's like, you know, now where she can ignore defense, like you said, after they heal 5 times. She is a great pairing for when you think a game might go slightly longer than you'd like it to, which is cool, like as a plan B for snipe comps.
Yeah, that was incredible. But you rarely see AoE healing that is in the form of Riley that much in RTA, so Lexi is not going to be picked a lot. But now we see pre-ban being Vanessa and Angela. So pretty much half of El Mimo usual team is being in the pre-ban section right now. And Zex is once again cooking with the double twin angel draft. So this is getting very popular in high rank RTA because each twin angel is very versatile and provide a lot of utility into the matchup, and having 2 of them is like having an entire team already before you even draft your other 3 unit.
Yeah, that was something that we saw in the Invitational. I remember Chewy's bringing a team composed of 3 different twin angels as well as a frigate, and that was so much fun to watch. Like, that was pretty exciting. So it's nice to see multiple twin angels other than the water ones getting attention in high level RTA.
Yeah, and we are seeing the Irene being picked up again together with another Jara being picked up to deal with the Nana revive potentially. So we have a lot of cooldown reduction in Zach's team, and that's going to allow Irene to keep eating the enemy away. And we have Jara to ignoring a lot of passive, which means if Jara get 1 lucky turn, it can easily snipe the Ragdoll out of existence.
Dude, Sean, I gotta say it now. Zex is like quickly becoming my favorite drafter in this tournament thus far. Like, he's bringing so much cool stuff to the table. Like, this is gonna be real fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm glad it's not another Oliver Jongnam segment, but we're actually seeing some units that are not being used a lot and usually underrated by the community. And Irene finished eating the first unit, putting that unit in the bag. And now we're going to be seeing a lot of protection for the Jara, because with Jade on the field, it's going to be hugging, it's going to be defense buffing. So even with Ragdoll and defense break, I think Ragdoll is going to find a hard time trying to kill this Jara.
Yeah, small thing. You know, the Filaria attacked into the Jara earlier. I think maybe that should have gone into the Irene if it was able. I forget the circumstances entirely, but you want to try to take down as many turns as possible from that lockdown. It's small things like that, you know, might mean the difference here.
True, and I think but I think Amimo just trying to kill the Jara as quickly as possible, because Irene can miss, but Jara, Jara's going in. There's
That's
no way
really
to dodge
point.
this Jara damage.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually, because Jara is inevitable. There's not much you can do about that. You take the risk with accuracy res checks, because we know that accuracy res is a cruel mistress. It doesn't favor one person all the time.
All right, now defense break on the Bover. He is well seasoned. Look at that defense and branding. So this Jara is hungry for that kill right now. The moment it get a turn, it might be over for Bover, because Jara can also ignore the Nana revive, because Nana revive is a passive, and Jara is very good at ignoring all the passive, like how your X ignore your text pretty much. It's gonna be crazy. Oh, here we go.
And it's going next, man. Oh, it's just shy. So now the Fire Twin Angels will have to dedicate at least a little bit to knocking out the Bover. That was so exciting, man. Oh, it looks like, wait, he doesn't want to?
Oh no, because when you kill that, you allow the Nana to revive, and that's give the Bova a bit extra health with the revive. But he wants to leave the Bova at as low as possible, so Jara next turn can easily finish it off.
It's a really good point. I forgot that that the passive's on for everyone else. It's just Jara that gets to ignore that. So kind of unfortunate for Zex there to be off by that 1 HP with the bird.
Pretty much, but I think it's not gonna be a problem because El Mimo team literally has no damage to kill this Jara. He's waiting for the Bova to try to snipe up the unit, but it gets harder and harder because there's just so much distraction for this Bover. Oh my god, that stun is huge on the Bover. It was about to drop a fat nuke on that win cookie right there, but it couldn't do that because of the stun.
That was a really fortunate stun because that's the Bulwark is a really cool counter pick here. Considering there are so many buffs on the enemy team, it's nice to see a Bulwark coming back into play. I feel like I saw him in such niche situations before, but it's a cool answer to someone who's becoming more used. Wow, this Jara is just shy every single time, Sean.
Every single time. It is 1 health away from winning the game for Zex, but is not quite there yet. But unfortunately, he's gonna get some attack bar with the Fire Twin Angel to boost the Jara to maybe come between and snipe this Boba finally.
Yeah, I think at this point, man, you just take it down with whatever. It doesn't need to be the Jara because, like, ultimately, he already regained all the health he would have gotten if he got revived by Nana anyway.
All right, as you said before, I think Jara is inevitable. He's coming like Thanos on this Bova right now, and there's nothing he can do about it. And I think he's going to seal the Ragdoll away as well, which means we have 2 healers having to deal with Jara. And that is tough.
It's about time. Zex has been craving that kill for so long, and now we're starting to see the units fall down. Zex is slowly taking more control over this game right now. El Mimo had a cool strategy here trying to outlast it, but ultimately Jara turning off passives. It's just too much, man.
I think Zex just absolutely cooked a team to deal with the heavy turn 2 player, because if you run a normal control team against this tanky Ragdoll and healing and cleansing, it's gonna be a nightmare. But when you run a snipe team with perfect protection like this, where the Bruiser Com cannot touch the Jara at all at any given moment, it is just so strong and so satisfying to watch.
Yeah, he really, like, Zex got all the right counters here for everything that El Mimo brought to the table. Like, between last game and this one, I feel like we just got to witness a real treat. Oh, and look at that, Ragdoll reflecting the dot back onto himself. Because of Irene, can't make anything happen here. Is just blocked completely by the defense buff and the shield. Zex is securing this game for his team. That's a 2-0 against El Mimo.
Absolutely incredible performance by Zex. 2 very different teams, but with 1 goal in mind. He wants to snipe, and he wants to snipe quickly against El Mimo team. He didn't give a chance for the Ragdoll to do anything at all, and I think he absolutely break down El Mimo's strategy, counter it perfectly, and that just showed that drafting is just so incredible. Zek has so many other amazing control LD5, but he did not touch any one of them. He went in with one strategy that worked perfectly, and he's not gonna go to the usual like control team that is the meta unit or whatever. He doesn't need any of that, okay? He know what he's doing, and that is amazing to watch.
I really liked what you said in that last game, Sean, where you were talking about how what Zex brought was ultimately a snipe comp with protection. Like, both games, Zex brought an evolution on the snipe comp. And in this one, it looked like a hybrid between like a complete bruiser turn 2 team and just facilitating the Jara. It's exactly what it was. It was a very cool adaptation of a team type.
Pretty much. And I think El Mimo after this has to re-evaluate his strategy, because ultimately, I think Zach's team is copyable for other players as well. If they were to fly a Mimo, they know, oh, I can use these elemental unit, and whatever fun LD snipe unit that I have, I can just put in instead of Jara, and that's gonna be like amazing to watch and very tough for a Mimo though. I mean, Mimo gotta find a way to deal with that, because that is just rough. He was dominating a Mimo, and that is not easy to do for any G3 player.
No, 100%. Like we said earlier, El Mimo is like usually right there in the top. You saw that he's closed 6th place in an RTA season before. So he's like right outside legend tournament range. He's a very strong player. And speaking of strong players, we got Big V versus Absy coming up next here. I don't know if Absy's still in chat, but I'd love to hear what he thinks about this matchup. Big V, obviously a household name because of his prevalence at SWC.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough game for Big Abs right there, because Big V is an SWC veteran. He's been here. He played the pre-ban format so many times, and he is good at it as well. So it's gonna be very tough for Abs here, because Big V is just a very scary opponent. He has so many strong LD5. He has amazing fast rune, and everything is just lined up to be very hard for Abs. Meanwhile, Abs love playing with content. He's like having fun. He's gonna pick some weird random thing, and maybe that's gonna be good against Big V, because the moment you go off the well-known meta, maybe Big V's gonna have trouble with that.
Yeah, and Absy is really good at making content picks feel threatening, you know, and like he's just got that analytical mind to really put power behind his picks. But of course, Big V has like just incredible account that we've seen on multiple years of SWC. Almo, that was really funny. L Abs dodged the smoke. Time for me to meet my fate, says Abs. Oh no, here we go, guys. Round 1, Big V versus Absy in the America's Summit Champions Peak. Let's see what goes down here, Sean.
All right, we got the War Young pre-ban and the Laura pre-ban. War Young being Absy, I think a very common unit in his draft, even though it's not very highly rated in RTA due to the low base speed and the fact that everything she does is not exactly amazing. But Abs make it work somehow with his team. Shows that his mind is just amazing. So we get to see the Oliver, we get to see double Speedy into the Light to an Angel. So Light to an Angel is another AoE strip that is not very highly rated by the casual audience due to the fact that it doesn't feel that strong. But in Absy's brain, it is a strip with attack buff and attack buff pushback. It's perfect for cleave, and he's doing that right now.
That's exactly what he needs. What a cool response. Well, I'd love to see what Absy's got in mind with the Wool Young once it comes back around, if he wants to pick it at all. I'm usually a big fan of seeing that thing in a pick ban phase, because it means we're going to see something really exciting and fast. Still looks like he's trying to do that just with maybe backup units, if I could call them that too. And I'm always excited to see a Maximilian in a pick ban phase. Whoa, Dark Geralt there, Sean.
What? Dark Geralt is a unit that doesn't even appear on the tier list due to how unused he is in almost all content across the board. And Absy's gonna lock in another AoE strip to allow his team to do some work here. But Big V's gonna lock in the Gianna to potentially violent proc out of the strip and control the entire team of Absy. And let's see which one's gonna take it. Will Absy show COM2US that Dark Geralt need a buff, or he's doing the opposite?
Yeah, maybe he's trying to like advocate for his use instead, or this could be some roundabout way to ask for a buff like you suggested. Chat, if you have a chance, just go read his skill. It's very long, has a lot to do with just benefiting from beneficial effects that you put on as well as harmful effects you put on, and he's a bomb unit on skill too.
But I think the problem with the Dark Geralt is that his passive boosts his damage, which sounds really cool, and then you realize that most of the damage of this unit comes from the bomb, which does not get boosted by having more buffs, so it's kind of weird. So yeah, he's doing the bomb thing now, but I wonder if that bomb is gonna mean much.
Exactly, you hit the nail on the head. I feel like it should boost his attack rather than his damage output, because then it would increase the potency of the bombs he's putting on.
Yeah, pretty much. So right now, he did not do much. The bomb did some damage, but not a whole lot. And the entire team of F was getting control by the turn 1 strip reset of the segment and the follow-up strip stun on the Gianna. And now the Oliver getting turned, just giving the Gio more turn as well. One of the more popular counter to the Oliver, because whenever you have to use skill, the Gio can gain turn and messed up your team with the spare stun and karma.
And I think that we also saw a blocked proc from Seal earlier as well, which was cool. Man, the Dark Geralt loves to proc.
And but he procs into kind of nothing, because the biggest value of the Geralt is the skill 2, the bomb and stun. And after that, he's gonna use us for a pretty long time without violent procs. And as you can see right there, bomb is also not the most reliable way to do damage, because you can miss. Your stun from the bomb can also miss. So he's just a unit of a lot of promise, but not a lot of action.
Yeah, someone put it really well in chat, saying that this is real dedication for asking for a Dark Geralt buff. Yeah, it was pretty funny. But, you know, so now Abs is really going to have to turn it on here up against Big V if he wants to get at least 1 point. Maybe there's also, you know, that did disarm Big V a little bit. He's drifting into some unusual territory. Now maybe Abs will go back to his usual pick style, unless he wants to give it a second attempt.
I think the problem with Ab's draft is that he was lacking a swift unit threat in that draft right there. He was locking in, I mean, the swift was probably banned out in the form of the Light Twin Angel. So he needed a way to deal with Big V outspeeding him and just taking out his strippers in the first turn.
Uh-oh, Jongnam. We've gone a couple games since we saw him, Sean, so it makes sense that he's back now. But Absy replies with that Wool Young as well as the Lima.
I think that's where he locked in the Swift unit in his draft, because if you want to apply control, you got to find a way to go first. If you go second, you got to find a way to start in a hay gang somewhere. So he's going first with the War Young and the Lima. He wants to strip. He wants to dominate the turn 1. But knowing Big V, he probably going to lock in some sort of high base speed unit to make sure that Absy will not get turn 1. That's going to be the Yonhong.
Yeah, now he's all of a sudden got it. Assuming the Yonhong gets in, Big V pretty much has a guaranteed turn 1 for any unit he chooses. And so Absy is doubling down here and also brings in the Gyo, which is kind of a fun response to units that might outspeed you, because it might give Gyo the opportunity to cut in thanks to her passive.
Pretty much. And also the fact that Big V is not locking in any fire yet, which means Gyo is going to be very potent to the entire Big V draft. But here's the fire thing that counter almost everything on Absy's side, and there is never really a bad time to lock in Gianna, so that's going to be the Big V last pick right there.
Man, you said it. Those two picks somehow counter every single one of these units in different ways. That's going to be real problematic for Absy, because now Juno can just strip anything that Wool Young and Lima put on. The Gianna can stun and bomb and provide effects. So it's pretty much Hagang ban as well as one of the last 2 oracles. In my mind, Sean, what do you think?
I think, man, it is rough for Abs right there. He got a very weird team going on, half counter pick, half soft control-ish. So I think with the soft control, he got to ban out the Juno, because you literally can't control Juno in any way, and Juno also counter Lima. And now he got to pray that his Lima proc or something, because the thing lacking in Big V team is the increased cooldown time. And that is what I would call the anti-violent factor for a control team. Oh, that's not looking good. Lima's dodging again. Lima's dodging everything. Can she dodge the skill 1 stun?
Oh, she kind of did it. She did it. The whole team took a bit of a beating to get there, but Lima actually got the invincibility up this time.
All right, I thought Big V was going to win, but that resist and that dodge were all pretty much saved the day, and now Absy get an entire team moving. Oh, how did that guy just steal the wheel from 3 buff and stun the wind unit? It's beyond my belief.
I don't know, Sean. That was low-key crazy. So Abs is hanging on here right now. We're kind of at parity. Nobody's really making a huge moves in either direction. The Jongnam's got suppression on, but he also really doesn't have any skills to use.
Yeah, that is a problem for Big V right now. He's been getting hit with a big rest on the enemy team, and now he's in a lot of trouble because he doesn't really have a way to get out of the situation when the robos start moving. Is how is that water unit locking this wind unit down is once again beyond my belief.
I don't know, but Big V is hoping that it continues because, like you said, if the Wind Robo gets a turn, all this starts expediting itself. Though Abs is pulling ahead now, especially because he took down the main source of sustain on Big V's team.
All right, without Yon Hong, I think Big V still got a shot because the Gianna is being uncontrolled right now. So with Gianna on the field and knowing Big V Gianna is probably going to be on bio, it is a huge threat for Absy still, but he's trying to work on that Gianna right now.
Look at that. Lima suddenly has skill 3 back up, so once it cycles back to her, she'll be able to put the invincibility up for the whole team. What does he want to do? The answer is not feed the Gyo.
Oh my god, that freeze. That is unbelievable. And now Big V's back on the controlling seat for a little while once again with the stun controlling the enemy team and with the Jongnam skill 3 available. Locking down that wind unit that was about to move, but missed the Lima once again.
No way, dude. That's so funny. He keeps getting that Gyo. He's able to just keep her down every single time. Looks like Lima is going to get the skill 3 off. But let's see if that can actually win this. Oh, the stun on the Gianna is pretty big.
Man, one more proc from the Jongnam, Lima would be dead, and I think Big V would have had it. But now I'm not too sure anymore. Now suddenly Absy's having it back once again with the Lima skill 3 up. It's getting tough for Big V.
Absy has gained and lost control of this match maybe 3 different times now, Sean, and it's slowly shifting back in his favor. Defense break goes out. He's able to make some big moves here with 5,000 damage per hit and a proc to secure the kill on the Jongnam.
Man, late game with Warrior attack buff is very detrimental. But we're going for round 3. Let's see if Absy's gonna be able to turn this one around against Big V, because I felt like Big V got resisted a little bit too often in the previous game, and I think if we rerun that draft, Big V could probably have won.
If he was able to, exactly, if he was able to get the actual effects to land, specifically on the Lima. Lima did a really good job of just jumping through every hoop possible, getting all the resistances that she could ever use. These are good pre-bans. These are, you know, I often use trauma ban as a phrase, right? I think both these monsters made a solid impression last game, and that's why they showed up here.
I think this pre-ban kind of hurt me emotionally because that is actually my first and my second LD5 in Summoners War, and they're both pre-ban.
Yeah, man, it's taking a personal crack at your LD5s right now. It's a testament to their quality. And Apps believes in the Lima, and to be honest, I do too, based on the showing that she had last time. Big V going for the route of just increasing the cooldown time instead to just reduce her down to a first skill.
All right, so I gotta say, huge respect to Abs playing with Lima, because Lima is being rated pretty poorly on a lot of player tier lists right now because she feels like she doesn't do a whole lot. The moment she get resetted, it's kind of over. Like, she just kind of sit there and does absolutely nothing. But Ab's gonna go in with the Light Twin Angel once again with the Maximilian. He's going ultra premium right here against Big V, but he got a problem. That is low base speed. So Big V can probably outspeed this and control Abs once again. But Big V's gonna go for the middle ground here with the Laura and the Light Horse to provide a bit of RNG for the Maximilian.
We're seeing a repeat of the round 1 draft for Apps, which is funny that he's going with this one that's more of a cleave setup in the matches when Woolyoung isn't available. It makes me think that he's definitely got a plan, and it looks like the plan is to actually maybe just out-sustain and siphon HP from the enemy team now. Seems like he's totally content with not taking out a unit turn 1, and instead he's just going to sit there, let Eleanor and Laura put up a ton of buffs, and then just benefit passively because of the Bulwark.
True, and also Seimei is a very good counter into Laura. lowering the buff duration, taking away the segment 2-turn debuff, making it 1 turn. Very, very good into this low damage-ish team from Big V, and Big V is going to lock in a high damage unit because he want to take out this Maximilian as quickly as possible, because we saw that Maxi was rather low on health, so sniping it wouldn't be a problem for Big V.
So if we're Absy and Big V, I'm in the position where I think I'd want to ban the Etna, and then if I'm Big V, I think I'd probably want to ban the Bulwark. Are your thoughts any differently, Sean?
And it is exactly what it is. I think you just need to give Evan a G3 account. He's going to be right there with Big V. We're going to call him Big E, okay? Big E is right up there with Big V immediately. The ban was perfect. So here we go. It's going to be a tough game for both because both have nerf for each other's strongest unit here.
Yeah, they really have an answer, but Lima, dude, 100% Res Lima, starting to make a case for itself at the tournament. Oh, and just like that, it falls apart, Sean.
Oh, one of the strongest, most tilting proc in the entire game, which is the Laura skill 3 into the skill 2. Pretty much an entire team on her own. Look at that. Like, in the past, you would need like 3 units to do what Laura just did right there. But she did it on her own, which is incredible.
Like, actually, that is an entire comp in one monster right there when you proc like that. Seime's trying to do what she can right now to kind of support the team. Max gains a little bit of HP back thanks to her passive. And he sets up a defense break, evening out HPs. Now all of a sudden, both teams actually have the same HP ratios, which is kind of fortunate. Laura doing the job of 3 monsters.
No, Laura is doing a job of 8 monster right now. She just did that again. Like how do you do that? Like, you have to put a Jamai in there for Laura to do that, and she just did that.
She did. She cycled, she controlled, she stripped the comp, she AoE stunned. Like, this monster is crazy for Big V right now. Definitely the big MVP of the game.
I'm surprised. I thought that Big V was gonna lose the moment segment get hit with a big res, but now Laura with another round of stun on the enemy unit, and also the heal block is gonna, never mind, he didn't even need the heal block. He's gonna die to the Chandra damage. Oh my god, that segment not only was fast, it's also on seal rune, which means if you get hit with segment skill 2, you can potentially lose your chance to bottom pro out of the segment high value skill 3. Big V is so ready for SWC at this moment. His team is incredible with that Laura just going 20 billion turns per turn.
Yeah, actually. Honestly, it's a testament to Big V's rune quality, man. Like, between the, the tactical bind to put her on the seal, as well as the damage that we saw Chandra putting out there just with the skill 1, securing kills. Like, this is why Big V is always in SWC.
And that is it. Absy could not handle the Big V, and he's gonna get at least 1 point better than Amo, to be honest. But still, Big V's gonna get the win here.
It's true, man. 1 point for the team. They can still be happy about the 1 point. And honestly, Abs, you should be happy. That was a good show, man. And also, the one you lost was when you were cooking with the Dark Geralt for us, and I appreciate that. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out the way it was planned, but it was a really good match to watch. Big V securing 2 more points for his team right there, Sean.
Man, that was a tough watch, though, not gonna lie. That Laura was an entirely team. Like, that Laura felt like the enemy was running more Changpeng, Jamire, and Poseidon in one team, just to replicate the power of Laura in 2 turns. It's crazy.
Yes, it's crazy. And then that's not even, we haven't even mentioned the fact that, she reduces incoming damage with the defense buff. She did all that and protected the team on top of it. It was crazy. Even Apps in chat right now is saying Laura, though, kept up, actually, the Laura was crazy. We saw it. You're valid, dude. Still, great job. We have one more matchup coming up here in the first set of games. We do have 4 teams here today, so all of the matches we've been watching have only been between the first 2 teams, True Dolphins and Tears. So after this, we still have a second matchup between Undergods and GLHF. Here is the rest of the matchups As we've seen, we've already concluded 1, 2, 3, 4, and that leaves us just with 5. Mendieta, one of our team captains for True Dolphins, and Rhino.
Oh, this one's gonna be interesting because Rhino is like El Mimo in a way that he's very well known for one way of playing, which is gonna be the AoE cleave. And Rhino like to title his stream being Draco carried, which is a wild statement to be put on. Draco carried. So Draco is a very old school cleave unit that back then was really insane, but right now with like every other unit have like 120 base speed, Draco is very hard to use, but Rhino somehow make it work. So I kind of see what he's gonna bring to the table.
He's got to bring it, man. You got to stay on brand, I imagine. Here we go. The players are ready. This is the big one. There's a lot of weight on the final game because this is going to be the last opportunity for both of these teams to earn any points today. And again, chat, it's cumulative throughout the entire run of the America's Summit Champions Peak for this season. So that means there's going to be more chances. Oh my God, the pre-ban on the Draco.
That's just mean, bro.
Awesome.
That's just mean. Okay, that's not cool. That's not cool
awesome.
At all.
That's wow. Mendieta's turning in his homework and he's getting an A+ right now because that's great. That's pretty funny. What's going on, Konagi? What's up, Ultra Death Lord?
But then if Rhino loves playing with Draco, he knows he's gonna get banned. I wonder what is gonna be the replacement. I think usually he's gonna go with the pawn toss and the Adriana situation to get a speed lead, immunity, and attack speed buff for his cleave. And when you can't cleave with a conventional unit, he also likes to play with Amduat on a damage build and Ethna on a violent build. So it's gonna be very exciting to see.
That's hot. I love the idea of a damage Amduat getting thrown in here. It's such a cool unit. The fact that it can be ruined on damage, can cycle through turns. You know, I really appreciate what that unit brings to the table. I think all the buffs that have gone towards Amduat have been really helpful, and sometimes I like to think of him as a free-to-play Berghild.
Yeah, pretty much. Just without the stun, the defense break, and the high base speed.
yeah. Without all the cool things that and the inability to get stunned, amongst everything. You know, it's it's kind of like when I say, "Hey, Mav is basically Ganymede." You know, with it's like
pretty much. Man, Manny is stealing another unit. No, actually, Manny's stealing 2 units from Rhino. Because when I watch Rhino stream, I noticed that he picked Pontos and Vanessa very often. And he's just taking all that away. So Rhino could have locked in the Sierra. And we are seeing El Sharian to benefit from the buff that he's going to be putting up. And also stealing the enemy invincibility at the same time. That's very cool.
Wow. Yeah, that's a really cool pick coming from Rhino. Love seeing El Sharian still used today. Notice that Mendieta is bringing the first cigar that's been chosen this entire tournament, Sean. We haven't seen much of him since the balance patch.
Yeah, Cigar's kind of an off-meta unit now, surprisingly. How one cooldown extra can really push a unit out of everyone favorite list instantly.
It's so weird to say that. You know, I guess he had probably more picks than so many monsters in RTA, like ever. At the height of his popularity, he was the strongest out of the Holy Trinity. Mendieta rounded out his draft with that Diana, which is, I think, a very cool pick. The Verd is just a natural counter pick here against what Mendieta is bringing, Sean.
Pretty much. Without any water unit to put a threat, any stun to stop the Verd from moving, and lock in the Leo in that spot, making the Verd even better valued from before. So the Verd has to be the ban and Diana's gonna be the ban. So Rhino have to fight the enemy Leo while having unit that kind of benefit from speed a little bit. So I wonder how Rhino's gonna do in this matchup.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say next too, is that, you know, it hinders Rhino's El Sharian skill 1 a bit, but I think maybe he's confident that the extra buffs would be able to kind of boost that back up again. Here we go, everybody. This is the last opportunity for these teams to earn points today. Everything is on this. Rhino versus Mendieta. Here we go.
And we got Ethna going first, and I think he needs to control the Cigar and the Pontos somehow. He's going to go for the skill 2. Oh, Pontos actually a Nemesis, which is actually very bad for Mendieta because he's forced to move right after, right before the Ethna is about to skill 3, which will take away the Cigar immunity, get a Violent proc. As mentioned before, this Ethna is going to be on Vial. And that's going to be looking pretty bad for Cigar because if Sierra gets to move, that Cigar is not moving anytime soon.
Yeah, that was low-key so bad for Mendieta because you kind of have to rip the skill 3 just to make it so that Rhino has to jump through a little bit, so a few more hoops to get to you. But now there's way more for El Sharion to steal.
And Cigar gets to skill 3 and get the Sierra damage out of the way, which is really good. If that Cigar was not moving after the Ethna, I think Cigar will be absolutely destroyed by the Sierra and Elshan damage combo. And now, oh, invincibility. Can I borrow that real quick? Oopsie daisy. Now I'm the one with the pawn toss. Oh my god. He landed that diabolical oblivion on the Leo. And now Mendieta is playing a 3v4.
Oh my god, dude. That was so bold. He stacked buffs on El Sharion, and he basically just did a late ban on the Leo right now by oblivioning him. That was crazy from Rhino, and you got to see it in his player cam too. He was so excited that landed.
He was not. That was unreal. Okay, landing a debuff from water on wind, not easy at all. Until maybe this Leo can violent pro out of his praying for that. Oh, he self-cleansed that right there.
That was pretty, honestly, man, like that was pretty deserved for Mendieta right there because it was pretty bold of him to even get to do that Oblivion on the Leo to begin with. Leo's back online, everybody slowed down a little bit. El Sharion's skill 1 damage is nerfed, but it might be too late, Sean. Rhino's already ahead.
Yeah, Rhino's way ahead. I think the fact that Mendieta trying to steal Rhino unit benefited Rhino because he know the pawn toss buff is so valuable that he picked up El Sharion to kind of bring pawn toss back to his team in a way. And with invincibility, the Ciara's gonna stay strong, the El Sharion is gonna keep stealing stuff. Even though Ethna might be going down right now, with Mendieta lacking a Cigar to control the Sierra damage, it's gonna be very hard.
Yeah, it is. And now Rhino's just going to be chipping away here. Might as well try to rip that Oblivion again and is rewarded a second time. Even Rhino's surprised. Mendieta's clapping.
That is impossible. And now Leo's gonna stay there for a long time because in the previous time that he got Oblivion, Leo actually had a decent amount of attack bar, but now he has nothing. He's losing attack bar in the meantime as well, and he's losing his life too. That's GG. Rhino's gonna take game 1 with Mendieta stealing his unit, pre-ban his unit, but Rhino didn't give a thing about that, okay?
Yeah, he didn't give a thing for sure, man. Dude, that never works for me, Sean. Like, getting that Oblivion to land off element is so difficult, and like, you just can't rely on that to happen.
Yeah, that's like landing a Wusa sleep.
It is. It's like landing a Wusa sleep, and it's also like trying to land just a off element is crazy too. I love that both of these players were so excited. Like, Rhino was stoked that it landed. Even Mendieta was like clapping for Rhino at that point.
It's so rare that even if it's bad for you, it's just like I'm happy
like,
for you.
Whoa,
Like,
good
it's
for
so
you,
rare.
man.
It's just crazy.
No, for real.
All right, so
Okay,
we got the
ban.
Vanessa ban, we got a Cigar ban. Rhino getting first pick. I think he's gonna steal the pawn toss this time.
I think he might on his. No, it's the Draco.
He's him. It's just him.
It's him, dude. Right where he belongs, in the first pick slot in the last match of these teams fighting in America's Summit. Pretty crazy to see him placed there. But he believes in the comp. And to be honest, man, if you like trust your comp that much and it's what you're comfortable with, then that's by all means what you should be picking in a tournament setting.
I think Mendieta have to challenge the speed of Rhino because the moment he go turn 2, Rhino's gonna whip out the light more, the talisman, to absolutely destroy Mendieta. So what he's doing is great. He's gonna lock in a speed lead that can't be one shot and a high base speed unit to challenge Rhino to have to pick some sort of speed lead here.
I like that addition there. It's a speed lead that can't be one shot. That was a nice add because Mendieta is already planning on countering this cleave this early in the draft, and you've got to. No way. Carlos, one of my favorite monsters in the game. He's so stylish.
Yeah, one of the coolest thing as well. But the cooler thing is he's locking in Carlos early on without any presence of reviver, of easy to kill unit, and Mendieta seeing that's gonna put in more water to put out his fire from Carlos, and that's gonna be the mouse to use the buff for his benefit, and maybe another stripper here in the form of water unit. Oh, it's gonna be a chrono. That is very interesting. I'm not sure about that though.
The only thing that I'll say that I dig about the Carnal, if anything, is just that it could probably outlast a big hit from what Rhino's bringing, just because that unit's known to have a ton of HP. But like, I agree that it is not as potent as something else could have been there, Sean. And there's that damage Omduat that you foreshadowed earlier.
Oh, that Amulet's gonna be very, very strong against many teams without any immunity, because I'm just gonna keep moving in between. I'm not sure about that last pick. Why he's so happy about that? Maybe it's an auto pick potentially. I'm not sure about Shimite in this position because there's really no crazy setup. You also cannot guarantee the attack buff and speed buff from the Draco, and he's also not guaranteed to go first with the Draco. So I'm not sure about Shimite. Even though he's a speed lead and he is one of Rhino's favorite cleave unit, it might be tough. But there is that speed lead ban position from Rhino to go first. I wonder if Rhino's gonna get turn 1 here.
He's really thinking about it. We saw both hands off the game for a second there while he considered his options, and he's talking to his team. As a reminder to folks, this is a team-based summit. So that means these players can actually have all their teammates. They're encouraged to be on call with all their teammates and talk about this together. And there go the bans. The Draco gets banned, the Facilitator, as well as the Miles.
Alright, so Drago get banned, Miles getting banned, Rhino might go turn 2 here, and he's gonna hope that he can survive that 2 high base speed unit coming out from Mendieta.
Let's see how this plays out, and let's try to figure out why he was so excited for Shimite. It might have been disappointment that we're misreading as excitement, but we'll see. Maybe he was excited that he got it. Unfortunately, we know that the Etna is going to get that turn 1, and here comes the Ombudsman.
But you know what? Shimite might actually be a bait because Carlos will gain attack bar and attack power of the dead unit. So Shimite might be there just to feed Carlos because he's like, oh, I'm squishy, I'm gonna die, and he's gonna bait Mendieta to killing the Shimite very early on. Oh my god, that is a huge res from Rhino. He res the strip from the Ethna stun, and then he res another reset. So looking really good for Rhino in this position.
Yeah, man, I never considered the idea that the Shimite could just be there to feed the Carlos. What a cool idea. Shimite doing huge damage before he goes out. Regardless, this is a big setup for Carlos right now. He can skill 2 to take down the segment. I almost would have led with the skill 2. That's crazy.
I think he's confident that his Carlos is just hard hitting, that he's just going to kill regardless. And I think that's GG. There's just nothing you can do anymore.
Truly, that was it. How do you even come back from this after losing 2 units so quickly like that? And then Shimite cleans up 1 more kill. I guess he must have just been thrilled that he got to pick a Shimite.
Man, Mendieta being farmed like a secret dungeon. That is such a Giga Chat way to go out for Rhino right there. He is just winning, dominating Mendieta, and that's GG, a way to end the round for Rhino.
2-0, Sean. That's a huge upset there for True Dolphins, unfortunately. So that means Tears is leading this game so far. So 2-0 and the last opportunity to earn points. That was a huge showing. What a statement game right there from Rhino, Sean.
Yeah, that was hard for Mendieta. He missed the strip stun. He missed the strip reset. I think that is one of the biggest weakness for going first as well, because you assume you're going to get all that, but then you don't. So that's just hard.
Yeah. What's up, Badowny? Badowny's going to be in one of the teams coming up in GLHF later. Now, there we go. What we just saw pass was the first opportunity for Rhino to land the Oblivion on the Leo. Somehow, Rhino found a way to ban a unit inside a game there, Sean.
pretty much. And I think for any player fighting Rhino moving forward, they get to witness Rhino strategy. And I think that is also one of the other weakness of playing with one thing very frequently is that they just get to see all of it. And now they know that, oh, the Pontar's coming, the Amdar's coming, and they can see how they can deal with that, like how people can see how to deal with El Mimo in the future fight as well.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was so awesome. What a great game from both of those players. Like that highlight for the second round, they almost could have just shown the whole match. It was pretty fast. Like that was a really well played.
And I think that's going to conclude the very first matchup between the two teams here. And we have another 5 matches for you guys to watch after this for the second matchup of the other two teams. So this is only the first half of the stream today. It's going to be a long one.
Oh yeah, so if you guys enjoyed the first 5 matches of the first day of the Americas Summit, be sure to stick around because that was True Dolphins versus Tears, and we still have Undergods versus GLHF, and those are captained by Zazas and True Whale respectively, which is crazy because there's a lot of like SWC big names coming up in the second half of this tournament today.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, and I can't wait to see what they are going to bring to the table because we saw some really fun stuff being cooked by these players today. From, I think, almost every match, there was something interesting.
Yeah, I got to say, so my favorite in terms of drafting so far today was probably Zex. I think Zex really showed off like a cool evolution of the snipe comp. Do you have a favorite that stands out to you so far?
Yeah, I think Zex was like probably the cleanest way of counterplaying because I feel like Zex was being held back by RNG a little bit, where the Jara could not finish the Bulwark like 2-3 times in a row, but he could have just done it even easier. Like he didn't even need RNG to win all the situation where you see like this and stun and all that stuff. But anyway, guys, we're gonna go for a break here before we go to the second half of the stream. So stay tuned, and we're gonna be seeing some more amazing matches coming up soon.
See you soon. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to day one of the 2025 Americas Summit Champions Peak. Now, we're here for the second matchup. I'm still Evan, and with me still, it's Sean B. What's up, Sean?
I am so excited to see the second half after seeing what they've been cooking for the first half, man. It was amazing to watch. We got a mix of meta, we got a mix of weird, bruiser, snipe, and then it's just a bunch of weird units all around as well. And then we got players who are dedicated to their craft like Rhino or Absy, who stick with the unit they like to use the most. So it's very fun to see, and I can't wait to see what the other two team has upcoming for us. And can we see the Angelmon once again being used?
Yeah, surely they've got some cool stuff cooking for us. So again, thank you to Rhino, who brought the first pick Draco into a tournament setting. We saw Zex, who's now in chat. What's going on, dude? Was probably our favorite draft of the day, I think we've decided, with that excellent evolution of the snipe comp. And so, yeah, now we're up to our next matchup between Undergods, led by their captain, Zazos, versus GLHF, captained by True Whale, returning America's Cup champion, as well as SWC frequent. Both of these players have been to SWC America's Cup this year, Sean.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very exciting to watch. It's going to be a very intense competition as well. I wonder what they're going to bring to the table, because I think when you have played SWC so many times before, they know exactly what you're doing. They know exactly what your strong point and your weak points are, and they're definitely going to exploit that if you are a very well-known player in the NA scene.
100%. And all of the players represented have a ton of matches in the public setting. What's up, chat? What's up, Glorious? What's up, Jeff? Good to see you guys. Welcome to the chat. What's up, Raigeki, who's coming up, which is a great segue, because these teams are absolutely packed with good players. I mean, Raigeki himself is on Undergods, who we're seeing in chat. We got Downey represented in GLHF, along with Vinny and Ladrio from SWC fame. This is going to be pretty fire. And also, for folks who might be joining us a little bit late, just wanted to remind everyone what that was that you just looked at. So what makes this so different from any other tournament setting is that in the Summit, these teams are fighting round robin style. So that means every single team is going to eventually fight each other. We have 4 of the 5 represented here today, but what gets even crazier is that the teams are the ones who get to decide the matchups. So they're going to take turns drafting very similarly to a pick ban phase in RTA. Then they'll populate that screen, and eventually we'll have all 5 matchups for the remaining 5 games of the day. It's best of 3 the whole way through, and every win matters. These teams are going to be accumulating points for every win. So that means if it's a 2-1 win, the loser still gets a point for their team. If it's a 2-0, that means it's even more devastating, because that player didn't get to contribute any points to their team, though they'll always have additional attempts. Right, Sean?
Yeah, losing today is not the worst thing ever, because you get to play again in the upcoming weeks to gain back the points that you didn't get in the previous week. And I think this pick ban phase is going to be very exciting, because we don't know how the team captains are going to choose their player accordingly. So it's going to be rough, especially when you choose a player to go for round 1, and suddenly that player is being hard countered by the other player on the enemy team, and that can be quite challenging. However, in this tournament, there's going to be a special power for these team captains, where they get to change the matchup if they want to 3 times in the entire league. So in this, I think 7 days in total, or 6 days in total, where they have to play against the other team. If they see a matchup where they cannot foresee their player winning at all, they get to reshuffle that matchup a little bit so that it's going to be in their favor. But they don't get to do that very too often, so they got to really think about it when they choose to do it.
Yeah, that is one of the elements of strategy going into the Summit, and that's why I love this format so much, is because there's so much strategy that goes into this before we even get into a game. Because first of all, the team captains have to select their team from a pool of players, then they have to choose who those players fight against, and then they have one more layer when they decide whether or not they want to use an Angelmon. And if you could believe it, we've already seen Angelmons used today. So if you see that pop up on your screen, that means that there's going to be a little bit of shuffling. So they're already in their heads, and when you watch these players fight against each other, you may notice that they're talking. This is a team sport at the end of the day. So all players are encouraged to be on call with the rest of their teams. So that way they can get all the ideas rolling and they can get the most ahead as humanly possible, because ultimately, Sean, only 3 teams move on to the finals.
Yeah, I think that's a very cool thing, because when you play in SWC, they're playing alone. And when they can't figure out what to do against the enemy, they just simply can't. But now they have like, hey, True Whale, how do I fight this guy? And then True Whale's going to come in with the G3 experience to tell you, hey, you can do that. And then suddenly, wow, there's a coach now? That's amazing. So your boss just suddenly gets stronger with a G3 coach in your call.
Yeah, and that's a huge benefit that all these teams get the exact same opportunity to talk to each other like that, which is so cool. You can just see this stacked lineup here right now too, with True Whale at the helm, and over here's Undergods with Zezas in the top middle as well. And we see Rageki down there, who is just in chat. All these teams are getting ready to go, thinking about who the favorable matchups are. You can tell just how intense this sort of thing is, Sean, because this is going to dictate whether or not you take any points home today.
Pretty much. And the first day is gonna be the one to start the momentum. You don't want to start out losing, so it's gonna be a very intense first match for these two teams, because it is also their very first match in the tournament. So the first player need to start out strong and win a 2-0. Okay.
Oh, look at this. And so Badowny is going to be the front runner for the team, for GLHF, for good luck, have fun. And it seems like Undergods is going to respond by placing Panda-like in that matchup.
All right, it's going to be a very intense first match here. Can Badowny get a 2-0, or can Panda-like get 2-0, so that their team can have more confidence going into the upcoming matches? As you can see, they're still discussing who is going up first, who's going up second, because I think the order also matters. It's not just like just go randomly, because if you win immediately in the first 2 matches, you feel really, really good. And I think momentum and mental clarity is also very important in RTA, because the moment your teammate lose, you also start to feel like, oh my God, my teammate lost. What if I'm going to lose too and my team is going to be in shambles? So better start out strong. And True Whale is going to be in the middle to make sure that if the team is not winning, he's going to be the one to change the flow potentially.
100%. He's going to be there to do some psychological damage, try to clean up what he can for his team, just in case the worst happens for him. And I like what you said there too, Sean, when you were highlighting that the order matters, especially to some of these team captains. I know that True Whale has a tendency to be a little bit on the superstitious side, in the sense that he wants everything to be perfect for when he goes up to fight this match. So he's probably very particular in terms of what order they fight. Now, again, I want to remind everybody in chat too that this could get shaken up last minute, because that Angelmon ability that we foreshadowed earlier is only used after all the matchups are decided. So we won't know if they want to trick the enemy team and swap a matchup last second until everyone is placed.
Pretty much. And I wonder, we're going to see the America champion fighting one another in the middle, though. That's going to be exciting if we see True Whale and Raigeki duking it out right in match number 3. But we're going to be seeing Zezas and True. Wait, I think this might be a rematch from the America SWC Cup last year, right?
Yeah, I think this is a grudge match. Maybe they did that on purpose, because they're like, you know what? Zezas has most recent tournament experience up against True Whale. Let's put him in the match and see what's going on. This is going to be an exciting matchup.
And I gotta agree with Topa that, God, Ricky is... Wait, what? I mean, Ricky is very strong, very incredible player. And I think he might be coming in the last spot here to make sure that the team is gonna get the win in the very last round. But I wonder who is gonna go up in match number 4 here for, I think, True Whale's team.
This could be a place to
one
slot
second.
in Ladrillo if he's so inclined, who's also a returning SWC player. Got pretty far in the whole tournament, went all the way to the SWC World Finals in 2024.
All right, Evan, who do you think is going to be going up in the 4th round here? I wonder. But do you think they're going to be using the Angelmon now, seeing the first 3 matchups? Like, is that going to be a good place to use or not?
I could definitely see them surprise using an Angel Mon, kind of similar to what Topa did in the first round, where suddenly Topa got placed up against Amadeus in match 1. I could maybe see them laying out this plan just to change it up last second. Whoa, I love match 5 though. I low-key hope match 5 goes through because I'd love to watch Raigeki versus Ladrillo. I think that would be one to watch out for. I think there'd be fireworks in that game.
Yeah, I think this is like a NA SWC all over again with these kind of matchups, and that's gonna be very fun to see. We got high-level matches and potentially some new counterplay, especially with the meta is starting to shift away from the Chandra, Cigar, Velajo, and we got news from the studio that there'll be no Angemon being used, so whatever you saw just now, it is gonna be what it is, which means we're gonna be seeing Zayzas, Chuo in the middle, Raigeki bring up the rear at the end, and we're starting up strong with Panda-like and Badowni.
Oh man, that's got me hyped, Sean. That means that they are comfortable with these matchups. Both teams agree. They're ready to throw down, and that means that we've got a really cool match 3 to look forward to, as well as a final match 5. Every single one of these is going to be fire, but seeing SWC participants like throw down together, previous champs come back, it's going to be really exciting. Looking ahead here, Panda-like versus Badowni. So Sean, I think Badowni made an impression on all of us. It was really fun to watch him play in the America's Cup. What are you anticipating going into this first round here?
I think it might be a bit of a heavy meta draft from both players. I don't think they're gonna go super heavy on the LD side, because I think when you have more LDs, you are more, how do I say? There are more strategy available to you when you can have different core LD draft and you can go crazy with the creativity. But when you play more of the elemental side, then it's gonna be a bit more limited. But I don't know what Penla is gonna bring to the table though. Maybe it's gonna shake it up a little bit.
Yeah, I would anticipate seeing some Jongnam play perhaps from Badowni, some AoE lockdown, trying to bruise, basically what you said there, Sean, where it's, you know, leveraging the Holy Trinity, or just the new Holy Trinity, I should say, and just playing to the meta, but playing it very precisely and well. I'm excited to see what's brought against that by Panda-like.
I think what's another exciting thing is that when people shift away from the Channel Cigar Velajo, most of the time, most of it, I think, was because of Cigar is kind of being dragged behind due to the nerf. But Chandra Velajo are still very, very strong unit. And I think we need to see more new combination with Chandra Velajo to see if it can be brought back into the meta instead of just ditching them altogether.
Yeah, here we go. They're going to decide their pre-bans, guys. We're going into match 1 of the second group today at the America Summit Champions Peak. These are going to be the first players with the opportunity to put some points on the board for their respective teams. We got Undergods versus GLHF going on right now. It looks like Laura and Josephine are going to be gracing the pre-ban.
Oh, I love that pre-ban. I'm a Josephine hater to the core, okay? Like, whenever I see that unit and I think that, oh, I can control that unit with a cooldown reset here and there, and boom, it proc every turn and just get the passive back immediately. And Badowni starting off strong with the Gianna first pick here. Meanwhile, Pandala is gonna go with the Oliver and Irene. A lot of Irene action today.
So much. I was curious if we were going to see her played, and I'm glad that she's getting some airtime here. So let's see how Badowni wants to reply to that. It is locking in the Chandra, like you suggested there. You were mentioning that the Chandra and the Velajul were still very strong parts of the 3 units that we'd seen in a lot of metas past. Sekhmet, who's very popular and getting turn 1 these days, super high base speed, can try to lock down Oliver, Irene, or whatever Panda-like tries to bring in those latter 3 slots.
All right, so we got a strip, we got a turn 1 threat, and we got a damage dealer. Badowni team looking really strong right now. Meanwhile, Panda-like seeing a lot of debuff, instantly put in the Juno, which is an appropriate answer. But maybe the team is lacking a bit of damage here. I wonder how's he going to fix that. And Velajo is going to bring a bit of heat with the damage, the defense break, and a bit of protection as well.
Juno has been such a great answer to so many drafts today. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something akin to like a Masha from Badowni, something high damage, high impact to try to knock that or the Oliver out, something that's at best element neutral or at most element advantageous against those 2 units. And bringing back a Rakuni? Oh,
I think Rakuni is
Mi
not
Ying.
bad because I think Panda is lacking in terms of damage, and Badowny is gonna pick up a Panda for his team. That's gonna be Ying. Mi Ying right now is actually one of the highest LD5 win rate in G3, surprisingly. And seeing the Panda team, I think Mi Ying might be it, because if you ban out the Mouse and Panda Light doesn't have a lot of immunity, Mi Ying at the end game is very, very threatening.
Yeah, I never would have seen that coming. You know, it's like you said, Mi Ying, surprisingly, one of the highest win rate units up there right now. He is post patch. He's doing great. Being able to auto cleanse yourself is so spectacular.
And here we go, guys. Penalized again, but Downey. First match between these two teams. Who's gonna get the win to kick off? Oh my god. Segment resisting in the first round and get resisted in the second turn. Classic summon as well. Moment right there.
What? Back-to-back reses to start off the game. Let's see if she can land it. She does, and she puts the Gianna in the box right there. Oh, Gloria said Panda in the Panda. 100%.
All right, with Gianna in the box, Badowny cannot really keep the enemy team control for too long without the stun. But at least he got the slow debuff coming right up here. But then the Channel might have to eat the slow debuff because of the reflex from the Juno. But then the Juno doesn't get to enjoy the speed buff because she didn't receive the debuff. That was a funny interaction that happened right there. And the Juno magically put defense break onto the Mi Ying as well with the reflex right there. That was so funny to watch.
You know that Badowny hated that proc deep down in his bones, because you saw he used a slightly disadvantageous skill 2 from the Mi Ying, so that way he could avoid putting defense break on, or attacking and putting defense break on Juno, so it'd be reflected. Unfortunately, he procced, and then he had to put defense break on himself.
But here we go. Gianna is being absolutely controlled here. Right out of the box, she gets immediately stunned by the Juno and step on by the Mouse. So right now Gianna is probably going to be out of the battle. So Badowny is putting everything onto the Mi Ying at this point. But one of the biggest weakness of Mi Ying is cooldown increase, and that is available in Oliver. Taking away the Mi Ying cool self-cleanse thing, which means now Juno and Mouse can actually stun the Mi Ying without worrying about proccing the passive. And hello, Violent proc.
It's kind of like how you were dropping that Josephine hate, and I love some good Josephine hate in the pick ban phase, just like Jug. Mi Ying is kind of like a good backup plan for Josephine, because they functionally have a similar passive, but Mi Ying's actually has a decently long cooldown time. So Oliver is much more effective against him than he would be against a Josephine.
And we are seeing somewhat of an older meta rising up again with the Oliver Mouse, bringing it back, making people reliving the nightmare from like a year or two ago in the Oliver Mouse Rakuni meta. But now Rakuni is not being as popular, but Oliver Mouse is still as strong as ever with the buff to the Mouse skill 2 that can stun very, very consistently. So I think Panelai just dismantle Badowny's strategy and show him that he can control the Gianna, he can control the Mi Ying, he can control everything just fine with Oliver Mouse.
Very well done from Panda-like to be able to show how easily he can take care of the Mi Ying. Like, watching the Oliver and the Miles pop off again together, it's like you said, Sean, it's like seasons past. You know, they're right back here doing their thing. Oliver increasing cooldown times, Miles locking down. It's fascinating to watch. So now we're seeing the Jongnam get placed in the pre-ban phase, as well as the Sekhmet, who ironically did miss that first opening turn increased cooldown time.
Crazy, huh? The two most popular RT unit right now are actually the two being pre-banned right now. And Panda is stealing the Gianna this time around from Badowny. And let's see. Oh my god, Badowny is like, you know what? Let me take a page from your book then. Let me show you how it's done. Let's see if Badowny can actually do the control this time on Panda, or if Panda knows exactly how to deal with that and pick the right counterplay.
He's starting off with a pretty good answer in Velajul and Haygang, so that way he can get a little bit of boost when the units get stripped. But Downey believing in Mi Ying, honestly, as he should. Now that he has the Oliver on his side, it's not going to get the increased cooldown time as reliably. Plus Sekhmet's in the pre-ban phase, so there's not a whole lot that can be done against that passive.
I think Haygang is not exactly an amazing answer into Irene, because Irene doesn't really care too much about Haygang. Penalite is going to go for that Jade for the decreased cooldown time against Downey. But I think that's going to be the ban on the Irene right there, because Irene kind of just eat through all of that without worrying too much about any problem at all. And Panda is going to go for a one-shot unit that I would say potentially destroy the Mi Ying if she gets to move.
That's a really good point too. You know, you were talking about how the Irene doesn't really care much about the Haygang, because ultimately she strips, but so what? You get 10% attack bar or whatever. It's like you are gone.
Yeah, but you're gone from the fight altogether. You are in the Shadow Realm now.
Yeah. You're in the box. The Water Twin Angels are going to round out Downey's draft. So he's got 2 speed leads represented in his peak ban phase. Who are you banning here, Sean?
I think the ban might be on to the Cassandra and the Irene here, but Downey is relying on one single target strip against that incredible amount of buff. So I think it's gonna be a bit rough for Downey here. I wonder if he's gonna be able to fight through that. So Panda actually leave the Irene on the field. So maybe he's hoping for a good rest check here.
Could be. So he could be banking on the accuracy resistance check. He's also probably hoping to lock down that Cassandra early, I would think. Maybe so that way he doesn't have to deal with it. Let's see, Irene can put it in the box. And then hopefully he doesn't have to worry about it. And it lands.
Beautifully done from Irene, taking out the biggest threat immediately, because Gianna against Mi Ying and Rakuni are not exactly the best matchup for Gianna. She can't stun too well. The bomb might even last too long on any unit with the Rakuni cleanse. But right now, at least she get a lot of protection from the Velaju and the Jade.
And Panda seemed a little bit shocked when his monster got put in the box. Oh, big strip stun. There's Mi Ying to use the passive and bring up a counterattack buff for the whole team. And that unfortunately means Rakuni loses the reflect debuff a little early.
But the good thing about Panda-like team is that he has that Jade cooldown decrease, so it's gonna be whether he can get the Gianna skill back quickly enough. Oh, that proc is so crucial. It's gonna protect Cassandra from being taken down quickly, because I think that is gonna be the plan of Downey. Oh my god, Rakuni! Rakuni just made fun of Gianna right there, Evan.
Yeah, he really did. He actually really did. Cassandra's back, but unfortunately she comes back with that 0 attack bar. So she's got to earn this turn just like everyone else. And this is a big opportunity for Panda, setting down a bomb. Make sure Cassandra gets her turn, hopefully. He's got to do something about the Oliver, though, because the Oliver could potentially reset the Cassandra.
Exactly, and that's what he's probably gonna do right there. Take away the Cassandra passive, and with that low health, I think Mi Ying gonna burst it down. But Jay has something to say about that, which means Cassandra might lose the passive momentarily, but she's not gonna go down just yet.
We got folks in the chat shouting out that perhaps the Gianna and the Jade might outstun the Mi Ying's passive. We talked about that last time too. Mi Ying's passive actually has a slightly longer cooldown than the Josephine does, so you can actually take much more advantage of it than you could in other situations. Though, with that said, Oliver's doing a great job of controlling Panda-like's team right now, Sean.
Yeah, and this is the gap. The very small gap that Downey can take advantage of. He got the Gianna skill out of the way, Jade's skill out of the way, but Velaju... Oh, Panda!
Oh my god!
He's on fire! Ain't no way! It took down the Mi Ying, Evan!
Oh, dude, look at Panda-like. Panda-like is still locked in right now. He's feeling way more confident. You can see him looking around. He's taking his time. That was a big move from the Cassandra. Oliver did great, but he didn't do that great.
Damn. That violent proc. Oliver got some violent proc too, but that violent proc from the Cassandra was crucial. And oh my god, the Irene stole buff but did not steal the immunity, Evan. It could not steal the villager back in the box, and the protection is on. Another unit getting sniped. Panda like with the fire, Cassandra being on violent. Absolutely destroyed Badowny right there. That was incredible.
2-0 to start off the second matchup. That was a crazy showing from Panda like. Really well done. Great pressure too by bringing the Cassandra. What a great pick, man. Sean, so he did what he could with the Oliver to make sure that Cassandra didn't have skills. He put it on 2 turns of cooldown, but she procced out of it. Was there another opportunity to put her on more cooldown? I'm forgetting.
I think Oliver had 2 skill available. And he was like, I can't be wasting this skill 3 on Cassandra. And she's not going to be on Vio, right? She's on Nemesis, whatever. He hit with a skill 2 to increase only 1 turn. He could have increased it on 2 turns. But then you want to use it on like the Velaju, the Jade, the Gianna. Because the last thing you would expect is the Fire Cassandra being on Violent. And he didn't get a chance to really observe whether she was on Nemesis or not. Because there wasn't much actual damage being done to her, so he probably just assumed that unit was on Violent, like every other person. Like everyone would think that thing's on Nemesis, but boom, it broke a Violent and surprised Badowny. Take the win for Panda. That was so incredible.
What a cool surprise, like ruining it on Vio instead. Like that was very, very cool. And it was protected by Jade, so even if another opportunity came up to increase the cooldown time, I imagine Badowny was probably afraid to get attacked by Jade and get defense broken instead. It was a really tough situation that Badowny was in at the bottom, but it's like, man, great show. Good job to Panda, like securing a 2-0 for his team that early on. That relieves a lot of pressure from Zazos's team Undergods. That means that they have a lot more wiggle room to work with, and they've got great tempo. They're all feeling well together. Next up, Lordo versus Pac-Man John.
All right, I think Jade is like the unit of today's show. Jade's been popping off a lot on many people's team, just reducing cooldown, protecting the unit, all that stuff. I think it's been great addition to the meta, and kind of underrated by a lot of casual player without giving Jade a chance.
I see why folks are really picking her in the absence of things like Cigar's popularity, because like she's really done a good job of showing what she's capable of. The decreasing skill cooldown time of her allies is probably my favorite part, and it is something that most people have overlooked, like you suggested. Because like, dude, in that matchup, she could just keep the stun up on Gianna the whole game, so that way Mi Ying never had a chance to proc the passive.
Exactly. And also, even though it's only a 1-turn cooldown reduction for your teammates, for other unit like Velaju, he has that gap in immunity that is instantly fixed by having Jade on your team. And then there are units that have 2-turn cooldown skill like Fire Cassandra, or the bomb from Gianna, or the strip from your Robo. They have very low cooldown, but not low enough for you to use it all the time. But with Jade, that is fixed instantly, and they give you an open to many other strategy that wasn't possible before, and I kind of like that a lot.
That's a really good shout out there, is that the fact that Velajul has that window, and that's the scariest part about having a Velajul, I imagine, because I don't have a Velajul, but like that window where you don't have immunity and you're waiting for your skill to come back. So scary. Here we go, guys. Match number 2, Lordo versus Pac-Man John, coming at you right now for round 1 in the pre-ban phase.
All right, let's see what is going to be the pre-ban here. Are we going to see the meta pre-ban, or are we seeing the LD5? I know you have that thing kind of pre-ban situation.
Yeah, good question. It's like, how well do these players know each other? Let's see if they have done that homework that we keep refereing.
Oh, it is the like LD5. I know you have kind of thing. I think Zeratul is crazy. Do you think Zeratul is insane, Evan? I think Zeratul is insane.
I love watching Zeratul. He's one of my favorite monsters to watch as a spectator, because I find him to be very fun. I know that there was a moment where I think Obaba was using him with Second Awakened Seren to snipe people. That was a really cool moment in RTA as well. And also, he paired really well with Eleanor back in the day around the time of SWC America's Cup. So it's good to see him in a pre-ban phase. I wish I could see him in a game instead, Sean.
Yeah, I think Zero Two is just wild. I think Zero Two was my first friend rep in almost 10 years ago, and I still remember how insane he looked. Like this guys make me feel like I can win Fame and Hell easily. It was crazy back in the day, and it's kind of fun to see him back into the meta 10 years later, being one of the strongest single target bruiser in the game at the moment, and also in the pre-ban phase.
That's a good point. It's really cool to see like those older monsters from Summoners War history come back and still be relevant to this day in the meta. Whoa, Pac-Man John bringing the Dark Ryu, trying to get multiple turns of stuns, trying to increase debuff time, etc. Oh, Stellar, by the way, in chat said that Pac-Man smoked him with that Zeratul yesterday.
Yes, Zeratul is insane, but poor Pac-Man, because Lordo instantly respond with debuff, I don't care, debuff, free healing for me. And that is a tough counter pick for Pac-Man to deal with.
Yeah, this is a pretty good response to what Pac-Man's bringing to the table. He's running low on time. This is actually what you hate to see. And I don't know if that was a panic pick or what he actually wanted to bring there, but Pac-Man John ultimately settles on a Moor and a Gapsu. What do you think about those picks, Sean?
I think Gapsu was actually good. I'm not sure about the Moor though, because the Moor doesn't directly counter anything on the side over there, and also can get easily silenced or stunned, which will lead to him being kind of useless for a long time. And also Pac-Man team already locked in 2 AoE strippers, so I was expecting some sort of 2 self-sufficient healer at the end to try to fight this ultimate bruiser setup here. And Lordo is gonna lock in Angela at the end to even make Pac-Man team very, very weak at the moment, because it is already hard to deal with Juno and Akroma. Now we have a self-cleansing healer that can shield, while Pac-Man team, if he lose the Gapsu, has no healing at all, and he doesn't even have big damage at all. So I think Pac-Man's in a lot of trouble.
And I think we saw those bans come in because, you know, the Angela is threatening and very annoying, but she only really works if the Gapsu's off the table, because like you mentioned there, Sean, Gapsu being the only healer means that they'll be able to heal through whatever Angela reflects. Here we go. Miles taking that first turn.
Man, Miles is one of the most annoying thing ever, because he's on Vile, but he outspeeds your Swift unit, and he procs all the time, and he doesn't care about element. He just do so much damage immediately. It's crazy.
Doesn't that just feel bad? Oh my goodness, the sheer amount of damage coming out from both sides right now, that was actually low-key crazy. The Akroma dealt huge damage on the Moor right there. And also the Dark Ryu did the plan. He put the defense break on everyone at least. Oh, you hate to see that one.
Yeah, it would be great if the enemy is not rocking a Chroma Juno. It is so strong that even the screen is gone for a moment right there. But as we can see,
I said you hate to see it, so we took it away.
He didn't care too much about the debuff. He's like, oh, debuff? Stun me. I welcome it. And then Junior start working on one unit after another. I think another thing about Akroma is that it's being very underrated by the casual audience, because runing up an Akroma is not a simple job. You kind of need her to be tanky while doing massive damage, while not being too slow, maybe have a bit of accuracy to land the silence and the gancing as well. But the moment you can do that, it is an unstoppable force of nature right there.
Yeah, like look at that raw 6.2k damage on skill 1. I'm so glad you said that. I was just having that conversation with someone. I forget who I was talking to about that. Akroma is one of the most stat-hungry monsters in the game, because she demands everything you just mentioned, and you have to make sure that she can crit and deal big damage, because otherwise she's just a passive that's just floating there.
But if you can do that, suddenly she become uncontrollable, and she could potentially control the entire enemy team. Because you usually pick a Chroma against a CC team, a team that rely on skill with cooldown, and the 2-turn silence is a death sentence to like a Moor, an Oliver, or whatever AoE CC unit that you're using. 2-turn silence just like, all right, I'm done. Might as well just lose right now. I don't want to play the game anymore, kind of thing.
Yeah, so that win from Lordo was really well done. Had every counter pick in the book. So I think Pac-Man John's probably going to have to reevaluate what he's bringing to the table here, Sean.
I think he was planning to run, I think for Pac-Man, he was probably going to run like 0-2 and Gapsu if he's playing on ladder. And that's where you can kind of fight the anti-C situation that Lordo was doing with 2 bruiser that can heal themselves. And that's going to be great. But this is pre-ban. So you can't really escape that. So he needs to find a way to run around that Juno Acroma, and he's not pre-banning Juno Acroma, which is very surprising to me that he's banning the Triton over there. I wonder if he's gonna go with the same thing.
Of all things too, and Lordo's actually, I don't know, he seems to be laughing about that, the results of the ban phase, or the pre-ban phase rather. So we'll see if that's actually ending up being a hindrance. You know, it's a very funny pick out of all the monsters. Thank goodness Pac-Man John seems to be bringing the heat with this one, locking in the Zeratul, bringing the Angela and the Fire Monkey here again, and Lordo responds with the Jongnam quick in that 4th slot there, Sean.
Wow, I think Pac-Man did a 180 on his strategy. He went from the control to the bruiser playstyle, but with the Vanessa, Zeratul, and Angela, I think it's pretty good. But Lordo's not gonna give up that easily. He's gonna go with heavy damage from the Jongnam and the Ciara, locking in the Juno last to deal with the buff from Lordo. So I think the ban might have to be on the Heigang that if he wants Juno to actually work against Lordo team.
Yeah, I think you're right, especially because Heigang is one of the most is the most consistent strip option on that entire team too. So it's the only thing that could get rid of the immunity on the Zeratul if it's getting through as well. So looks like opts for Ciara instead.
I think he just want to ban out the biggest damage source from the side of Lordo. But once again, Gapsu is insane, and the defense buff Velajo might be popping off with some amazing damage as well. So let's see who's going to go down first, and I think the first target for Lordo is going to be taking down the Vanessa as quickly as possible while not losing any unit on his team.
Got a little insight into the Vanessa. We got a Despair Vanessa on the side of Pac-Man John. He's quite funny. Let's see what Zeratul can pump out here. Go for some strips. Who does he want to go for?
The problem is that there's Heigang though, so that's gonna be a direct counter to Zeratul strip that put dots on enemy. So that's a self-cleanse on the Laura and free attack by boost as well.
I would have considered doing that on a monster that was already going next instead of cleansing up the Laura, because that stun, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter functionally because Velajul was going to go regardless. But typically if I'm going into a Heigang, I like to boost a monster that's gonna go next anyway.
I think it didn't matter too much, and he just want to kill the Laura as quickly as possible because the Laura provide the defense buff, which will take away a lot of damage coming up from the Monkey or the Zeratul, and I think he just want to do that as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, Lordo providing a lot of healing for the team. He's now going straight for the Zeratul. He's probably going to go for the Zeratul twice. When you fight a Vanessa team, you either want to kill Vanessa first or you're going to kill something twice. So you got to decide that immediately right off the bat instead of going back and forth. But that Zeratul Pro is going to take down the Laura. So the one that's going to win the early game race is going to be Pac-Man.
Such a fortunate proc from Pac-Man too, because that saved his Zeratul. If his Zeratul passed turn there, it was going to go in the ground and have to be revived by the Vanessa.
Pretty much. And Zeratul with the self-healing is amazing, even though it doesn't look like a lot. But that little bit of healing in the Bruiser meta is so incredible, because in this meta where people don't do like huge damage immediately, that little bit of healing will drag out the life of this glass cannon unit so much longer than it should be, and it's gonna stand strong to do a lot of damage on the enemy.
Yeah, Pac-Man John showing that he wants that Jongnam dead by any means necessary, even going so far as to sink the Juno skill 1 into it when he could have just gotten more bar off the Vela.
But now he's switching back to the Vela because ultimately I think Vela is easy to kill, but he did not get the defense pick right there. Jongnam trying to get that Zeratul down, but then there's the Vanessa thing going on, so he needs to get rid of this Zeratul as quickly as possible using the Velajo skill, or maybe he's going to steal buff immunity first.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to cycle through here, and then let's see if he can confirm kill on the Zeratul with this. It's just shy, and Heigang's right there to clean it up.
All right, we're down to a 3v3. Nope, just kidding. We're down to a 3v2. Funny enough, we are seeing 3 fire against 2 water. But the fire, these 2 fire in particular, are very well known for eating up water CC unit.
Yeah, it's usually the case that the Fire Monkey King will take a win up against a water unit, especially if their job is to try to crowd control you, considering his passive in Juno's. Wow, and he's critting. That's the other thing he's known for.
Oh, but Jongnam is also very well known for eating up Juno in the meta, and he's doing exactly that, but Juno is gonna go down just yet, and the monkey missed the crit at a very important moment. He crit when the Jongnam had immunity, and then he missed crit when the Jongnam is off immunity.
The one time he needed. Oh my god. Right when it suddenly mattered. Oh, and Pac-Man John. You can see his reaction there.
The most tilting unit in the game right now, Jongnam. Look at that. He was almost dead just a couple turns ago. And now suddenly Juno's gone and he's winning. He's getting hella turns. And I would say Vanessa revive is up very, very soon. So I would probably go for the Vanessa kill right there.
This is why this unit is so powerful. Jongnam is just sticking around, taking control of the game. Finally gets something valuable on him. Getting some opportunities to crit. Pac-Man John is slowly getting more control of the game now, and he's feeling a lot more favorable. Mere moments ago, he was not stoked about what was happening.
Oh my god, that dispersion for Vanessa. That was brutal for that Jongnam. He was about to go for another cycle, and then Vanessa said, nah.
And Pac-Man John gets a point for GLHF. Undergods still have 1 point from Lordo as well. Let's see who ultimately takes the 2nd point available in this matchup.
I think this has to be... It's probably going to be a Laura ban once again, a 0-2 ban, because that pretty much sealed the deal for them. I think 0-2 went really hard on Laura right there, and maybe Pac-Man this time will still lock in a bruiser strategy instead of going for control, because you literally cannot control Juno Chroma. But he is going for the Chroma pre-ban here, so maybe he is switching back to the control playstyle with the Heigang first pick against the Laura user.
That's kind of what that's what I'm reading too. Oh man, Pac-Man John going back for some more gamer fuel right there before this pouring into the cup. It locks in a Vanessa. And to your point there, Sean, I like these pre-bans a lot more than last time featuring Triton too.
All right, so Pac-Man's gonna go for the Vanessa first pick, signaling he's going for a bruiser setup here, and Lordo, seeing that, immediately steal the best healer right now. It's going to be Angela, and it's going to lock in a mouse to do a lot of damage to the enemy.
Lordo's got a very nice 1st and 2nd pick on his side, and Pac-Man showing he wants to go so aggressive. I don't think we've seen him pick this high volatility of a draft yet.
Wow, I mean, Pac-Man is packing for sure. He got 3 team lined up to go. That is crazy. So over there, we got the appropriate answer with a Triana that could be on Ultra Quadruple God Rune to deal with this Sonya.
Yeah, and that's a great call. The Triana is probably well equipped to deal with the Sonya. Oh my god, he's going Pac-Man John going back for more. He needs everything he can. He's trying to cook right now. He needs all the juice possible. Lordo hovering over the Leo, not confirmed yet, but he's thinking about it.
Man, strip defense break from the light chicken. That is also a first we're seeing in this tournament. So we got dark chicken from Zazas. We got light chicken from Pac-Man. I love all these Phoenix draft right here. Might as well see a Perna in the next round at this point. But Juno's going to pick up last. I think that's going to be to deal with the chicken and the Ethna from Pac-Man's side to do a lot of damage in the end game.
Yeah, we could see... but I remember, I don't know if Avery's still in chat right now, but Avery was using the Teshar in RTA 2, which is wild. I don't know if it works, but I know that it was using it. We could see so many Phoenixes today. I think you kind of got, oh my gosh, the Triana makes it through. I thought for sure that we were going to see that, but I guess you're afraid of the defense buff if you're rocking a Sonya.
So it's going to be a defense lead Triana against an attack buff Sonya. Let's see. Wait, hold up. That speed though. I'm not sure what I'm watching right here.
He's so fast, and he gets
No way.
the stun off
No
element,
way.
Sean.
No way. Nah, that's
way.
not real. That's not real. Wait, is that
can't
an
be. Oh,
anti-Leo
Lordo.
team?
Lordo was
I-
about that too.
I think this is actually an anti-Leo situation here. It might be a Vile, I mean, it will be a Vile Adriana and a very high attack slow Sonia. He was waiting for the Leo pick, but then Lordo decided to not go with a Leo and went with a Juno instead, and it is perfect into this slower situation team. Lordo actually foresee the future that the enemy team is slower, leading into this exact moment where he stripped everything.
Oh my god, Pac-Man John just in the pits of despair right now. You can see the look on his face when all those buffs got stripped, and now all of a sudden he's getting TOA'd by Lordo. That's got to be one of the worst feelings out there. He's about to lose 2 units coming up here.
Wow, he was planning to cook Lordo if the Leo was dropped. And then Lordo was like, I can see your plan. He's walking the Juno,
Lordo.
and that Juno was so perfect. That's crazy.
Lordo laughing his way to the win on that one. Incredible. I loved seeing the reactions in that game, Sean. Lordo just laughing the way the whole time. He was loving every minute of it. Pac-Man John was notably not loving every minute of it. But, you know, I get why.
Yeah, that start on win to start off the fight. Oh my god, that was a 10% thing that happened right there. That was a very, very bad match for Pac-Man for sure. So
Yeah.
we're moving on to the next. I think the blue team got 2 wins in a row at this point. They're looking really, really good.
Yes, they have kind of turned the tide a little bit after, after the early one from Panda. Like this is this is a pretty good way to start the second match. And now we're watching the highlights here going into it. This is the game with the Zeratu. Pac-Man John ultimately found the window through here. What did you think of that set in total, Sean? Now that we've seen all 3 games.
I think that was fun though. I think Pac-Man came really prepared. He got 3 teams ready to go, while an average player would probably get 1 team roughly working. This man got 3 teams, and his 3rd team was actually ready to fight the hardest counter of the team, which is really amazing to see. It's just that it was very unfortunate that Lordo somehow opened his 3rd eye to see in the future that Leo was not going to be good here.
I don't know how he saw that, but
That was
yeah,
really good, though.
Between Panda-like and Lordo now, Undergods are feeling real good. So again, this 3rd match is a real fun one because now we get to watch Zazos versus True Whale.
All right, as mentioned before, True Whale in the middle to bring back balance as things should be. Okay, can True Whale defeat Zazas in this matchup number 3 to bring back the momentum for his team, because it's not looking good for the very first 2 rounds.
True Whale wants to take back control of this match. You know, they're not out yet. You know, all he needs to do is set the tone for the team and then get things back under control. So expectations going in here, Sean. What are you looking forward to in this game?
I think True Whale is going to be rocking some true LD draft here, and that's going to be another shake-up for the matchup here. But he also know how to draft all the other elemental well as well. But I really want to see what he's going to bring to the table, because True Whale arguably has the biggest arsenal. Like he got unlimited choices to go for, and that can also be quite a bad thing, because when you have too many choices, you don't know what exactly to go for, because your choices are just too many.
And last time when these players met in the America's Cup from SWC 2024 as well, I think I remember Zazos doing actually better than people were giving him credit for leading up to those games. So I think Zazos might actually be more ready for this game than it might seem at first. Though True Whale is definitely an obstacle for Team Undergods right now. Zazos locking in his Vanessa and thinking about what he wants to follow up with.
All right, True also got the Sierra ready to go into the Gianna, ready to go into any other Laura situation as well. So Sierra's a very, very favored unit for high rank player because she doesn't really care too much about element, and she scale really well with your rune quality. The faster you are, the higher attack you have, the more damage you do. It's a very, very strong unit in the hands of True Whale. Zayza is gonna go the Chroma, and Angela Rao going for the Bruiser style, very similar to what Pac-Man was doing, but he was just using a 0-2. Meanwhile, True Whale is gonna go for the true damage with the bomb and the Doman skill 3.
Wow. Bringing the Doman is always so much fun to watch. And it puts the opponent in a really difficult situation. And you can already see the change in tone for Zazos as now he's considering what to do. Oh, and he's got Rakuni to boost up whoever he wants. So he has a second instance of boosting.
But the problem with Doman is that she is not exactly very amazing into shield that is being provided by the Josephine and the Angela at the... So there's going to be a lot of shielding going on because Doman can only damage based on the enemy max health 4 times. And if there's shield in the middle, it kind of mess up the sequence where Doman cannot kill the unit properly unless there are more follow-up damage from the other teammates. So I wonder if this Doman's gonna land her thing, and let's see what's gonna be the ban here. The shield get banned out even.
And also the Rakuni. So you shouted out the shield being a problem, so one source of that is gone. Surprising that the Rakuni caught the ban out of the rest, but you know what? Zazos knows what he wants to play against. Here comes True Whale taking turn 1 with the super fast pace speed Yano.
But there's also a problem, which is going to be the Acroma, who cannot take any debuff, and True Whale doesn't have any cleansing, and Doman the Doman just sold the game right there. Big AoE from the boy, but the shield's gonna come up, the provoke is gonna start happening, and a Chroma, as mentioned before, is arguably a better CC unit than some other CC unit.
This was literally the worst case scenario for True Whale going into this game. He's got to be feeling pretty rough. Zazos is quick to use this lead to his advantage there. This is a really tough time. That's the struggle with Doman there, Sean, is that resist factor.
Yeah, I think they really need to buff Doman skill 3 to land all the time, because that is like your only job, literally. And she can fail 15% of the time, which can be very, very devastating for the Doman user, because when you fail, you pretty much did a turn without doing anything whatsoever. I think they need to be like at least a segment situation with Doman where if she missed, you get to use it again if she get to move again.
That's what my suggestion was going to be after what you said is, you know, perhaps we take a page out of Sekhmet's third skill. Because it's a bummer that she does nothing and then you wait for multiple turns for her to be useful again. Though I'm sure there'd be a lot of folks who potentially disagree because Doman is a pretty powerful monster when she actually decides to work. Josephine, here we go. Can she... This seems like maybe too much to confirm the kill, but it'd be a good chance to maybe lock someone else down.
And look at that Ciara. She was about to do some work, and then suddenly she's not doing anything. And Vanessa pop a despair and the increased cooldown at the same time, which was one of the most devastating prop. It's like a Wusa 2-turn sneak, but even rarer. That is just crazy. That Doman is never using skill 3, but maybe Jongnam is here to save the day. But the problem is Josephine Shield's coming back up.
It is. Just when True Whale can get a little bit ahead, Josephine's right there to pop the shield and put him right back to parity. This is pretty rough here, and Zazos is so thrilled. He's rubbing his hands together when he ultimately got the kill. And this is great. This is great for him.
And even though Zazos has no healing on the team, his unit are proccing every turn with everything possible. True Whale, unfortunately, is relying on unit with cooldown, which means this 2-turn silence from the Acroma is gonna be devastating to this unit. And there's nothing much they can do. Maybe Jongnam gonna be able to bring it back for True Whale here.
That's the one hope that I'm seeing for True Whale here, Sean, is that true damage on skill 2 into the Acroma. The big damage that he can deal, but unfortunately, he does falter a bit to Josephine, but I think Jongnam has what it takes to do this.
Man, another increased cooldown from the Vanessa. That is so devastating. And now the Achroma with the Seal of Light is going to take away Doman. And another Violent Proc. Almost increased cooldown as well. And here comes the Josephine with the 2-turn provoke. And another Violent Proc. Oh my god. Zazas is absolutely crushing Drew Whale's hope right now with these procs. And there's nothing that he can do. It is GG. True Whale will fall to Zazas.
So well played by Zazos. I'm telling you, man, Zazos came back with a vengeance. Like, he put on a good show up against True Whale back in SWC, and I think he spent time thinking about how those games could have gone differently, and now we're seeing him put it into practice. He's thrilled. He's ready. True Whale now has to do some thinking about what maybe went wrong, what didn't work. We didn't love the Doman because, Sean, you were right. It's like the Doman got one shot at that skill 3, and as soon as it got resisted, it didn't do a single thing for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and it got instantly control, stun, increased cooldown in between, and it just sit there, watch the team die without providing any value. So even though on paper, Doman got a lot of promises, once again, full shot when it's in real battle.
Yeah. Okay, so Zazos going with Ramael and Judaya, the Water Twin Angels in that first pick slot. True Whale answering back with Ciara and Laura, going for a high base speed monster. Wants to take turn 1 just like last time. And honestly, man, he's got it. True Whale's rune quality is off the charts. So if that man wants turn 1, he can have it.
And here we go. We're going to Hey Gang to counter the Laura. Pretty classic. So what True can do is to lock in 2 single target strip here. And it could be Jongnam, it could be Sekhmet, it could be both to deal with this Hey Gang situation right there. Because Zaza's team right now is lacking in terms of damage. So if he can lock in some either single target strip or healing, I think he's gonna be doing great. And he's gonna go with the Bruiser route with the Rakuni and the Zeratul. So Zaza, seeing there's no increased cooldown time, locked in the Cassandra immediately to try to cut in between the Laura with Nemesis Trap and maybe one shot the Sierra Zeratul. But that last pick though, is he serious?
Is he serious? Is he actually locking that in? It'd be really cool. I wouldn't hate it. Getting the Asher, though, is probably a safer bet in this game, especially because your main threat in the Zeratul, assuming it gets through at all, would have immunity most of the time.
So I think Zaza's last pick is cool. Very, very solid last pick when you need something. It's exactly in a situation where I need a bit of damage and a bit of everything else. Assure is going to be the pick for sure. And I think Mao's going to be amazing as well. So let's see if this Laura is going to become the Laura that we saw earlier. Nope, he chose to go safe. He could have done it though. He could have done it.
Yeah, he could have potentially just opted for the turn 2 here. I think it's actually going to play out fairly similarly. In my mind, I almost would have just done the strip just to get it out of the way, but I think he wants to save it for right now.
I think that's a dead Zeratul, Evan. That Zeratul is gone with the win. It's gone with the win. And right now, True is down and getting the most useless proc in the first 2 turn is devastating to the soul, Evan. Because when the enemy get the right proc and you get the worst, oh god, it's just hard.
That's the worst feeling in the world. And now, of course, it's stunned only the Laura, you know, and even if she stripped, they'd all just get boosted anyway. Man, this is looking real bad.
If she stripped, she could at least open for the Sierra to have an option to do something. But that stun on Laura to seal the deal right there.
Sean, is Zazas about to 2-0 the previous America's Cup champion?
I think Zazas about to do it, man. And do it in the most tilting way possible. True Whale right there. And once again, True Whale keep getting the most useless proc in the game, and that just boosts the enemy chance to proc a little bit more. It's just bad.
It is. That must have been the worst feeling. And Velajul getting a proc to set up the defense break here. This is kind of expeditious in a certain sense. And now if he gets a proc with Asher, it seals the deal. No such luck. You'll have to wait another rotation.
Once again, bomb into nothing and Assure skill 3, making sure Sierra is not going to be here anymore. And I think that is a GG. There's nothing else Chiro can do. Laura being very, very strong, lacking damage roll up is not going to be good enough to deal with the situation at hand here. And Rakuni cleansing every other turn. Even though it's good, it also gives Zezas free attack bar as if he's having a ragdoll in his team.
With that Ciara going down, that is the game. Zezas did such an incredible job here. Coming back at True Whale after the SWC Americas Cup prior. This was absolutely crazy. True Whale hanging on for a few more turns with the Laura and the Rakuni here, Sean, but it is not looking good for GLHF.
Exactly. Another one down for Team True Whale. They got the worst starting match possible 3 times in a row. It's not looking good at all. And oh my god, this Hagang, this Velajo, this Assure, just too strong. Nothing Sure can do. And moving on to game 4.
Zezas taking the win. Oh, so and salve bem, salve no chat. Salve, ótimo. Boa Zezas. Boa Zezas. Fala. Wow. Fala chat. Dude, everybody in chat coming in from Brazil right now to celebrate Zezas' win. What an incredible 2-0 in match 3, Sean.
That was crazy. That was a hard watch, all right? That was rough. It was like seeing the Laura just now going like 8 turns or something like that, and now seeing the Laura doing absolutely nothing, and enemy Velajo and Ashura just go back to back. It's just like, oh my god, that was rough to watch.
Zezas, muito forte. Forte demais, chat. That was insane. Yeah, really well done. Of course, the Josephine getting turns and turns, always having that passive back online. But Zezas had such a clean answer to the crowd control that was presented there. This early kill, though, Sean, I think that when we saw that, that was the game right there.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that's just over. I think locking in the Bruiser might have been a moment where he lost the game right there. I think True Whale could probably go for outspeeding just fine, but he locked in the Bruiser. He let Zezas get the turn 1 with the Water Twin Angel, allowing the one shot to happen, and there was nothing much he could do right there.
Yeah, that's a good point, because, you know, we talked about that. We were saying, like, if he wants that turn 1, he can take it. True Whale runes, you know, this is you know, Zezas did a great job, but this is all to say True Whale, incredible player too. I mean, clearly he's got that legend title, right? That rank 1 that not a lot of players get to have. You don't see that presented in a lot of folks coming into these games, and he's got it. But Zezas came back with a vengeance. He came back with smart plays. He got answers for crowd control and more. I think True Whale could have maybe gone for a more aggressive comp that we've seen him use in the past. But overall, very fun match. We still have more to look forward to as well. We got Vinny coming up here too, as well as Dark Archon.
Can Vinny bring it back for True Whale's team, man? He gotta be the one. All right, there's no way they're gonna lose 4 in a row. There's no way. There has to be a match where True Whale team get a bit of RNG here so that they can bring it back up, because I think losing a couple of matches, a couple of points is not too bad. But losing every game in the first day, very, very bad. It's gonna be very hard to come back from that.
Truly, and like, guys, because, you know, this team, GLHF, right, it's absolutely stacked with True Whale at the helm, but Downey, Vinny, Ladrillo, Pac-Man, John, it's like all these players that you've seen in SWC and beyond in competitive Summoners War. They were definitely the favorite going in today, but clearly Zezas' team Undergods has brought a lot of firepower, and they are ready for that matchup.
All right, is Vinny gonna be able to do it though? Let's find out very, very soon. But in the next round here between Vinny and Dark Gachomb. Oh, he got a gamer headset. Oh, Dark Gachomb, he got a better headset. It's over.
Might as well concede. Poor Vinny.
Vinny is being headset diff right now. It's over.
Dude, that headset gap, it's the audio gap. It's the directional audio, dude. He can hear all his bands
right there.
Oh, there's so much pressure here for Vinny right now to try to get at least another point on the board right now to keep the team alive. I want to remind everybody right now that this is not the end for any of these players. In the Americas Summit Champions Peak, these players are all going to end up doing a round robin with each other team. So today is not the end.
But anyway, we're going in with a segment pre-ban, breaking up the trio. Vinny is gonna go for the Holy Trinity, but replacing segment with the light Gojo. Finally, not Wiener, okay? Light Gojo, the real Gojo. So we got double speed lead, we got strip, we got control. Very solid start for Vinny. Meanwhile, Darker Charm seems like he's gonna go for a bruiser snipe playing style, but that rely heavily on him going first, or he's gonna get picked out one by one very quickly.
Let's see if he has what it takes to actually secure that turn one here. Looks like Vinny is trying to receive that damage well by bringing a Belio, so that way he can respond after the first move from Dark Archon.
All right, Vinny, what's going to be the last pick here? It's going to be Mouse into Kovaci, into 0-2, a very appropriate and well-drafted unit over there. Dark Charm seems like he is not looking good in this draft right here. He got one main damage dealer. If 0-2 is banned out, he's going to tickle that Abelio for the entire game.
Yeah, I would love some sort of wind damage here. Perhaps, you know, could be Diana, doesn't have to be Diana. Something of that ilk. And it looks like he's going with off-brand Wind Gojo.
Oh, it's gonna be the Summoner's War version of the Wind Gojo. I'm sorry, I don't even know his name, I'm gonna be honest. But he's gonna be the one doing the provoke. Vinny doesn't have a lot of it on any immunity at all. So if this guy gets through and he land the provoke, it might be the window for 0-2 to start cutting the enemy down.
No, the Honored One got banned and we got Vincent instead. This was Vincent. This one is the Vincent. I just looked it up right now.
All right, let's see if Vincent's gonna be him. Oh, he's very fast though. He's outspeeding the entire team of Vinny.
You can open up with a strip to steal that immunity, and now
but then
Jongnam can try to steal it back.
How dare you took my immunity? Give it back right now. And the 0-2 seems like it's about to go down soon as well to the Oliver control right there. So Dark Charm finished his first turn, achieved absolutely nothing, and now Vinny is gonna start doing his control instead.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is, you know, Dark Charm is kind of out of gas, as it were. You know, the 0-2 absolutely has to proc, and even then, it's not looking great. So there's a little. This might be a game for Vinny right now.
Pretty much, and even though Juno can be really strong against 3 water unit and 2 of them are damage dealer, it is not going to be easy. And he's going to reset the Vanessa revive and use this opportunity to bring down the 0-2 without worrying too much about the Vanessa revive.
There was an opportunity there. He did miss the increased cooldown time, but oh my god, Jongnam just gets whatever the rest of the team might be missing out on. Look at this. Vinny doesn't even have to decide on one unit to focus. He can split damage and take them all out at once.
This is a outdraft to the classic outdrafting situation right there. I think Dark Charm locked in the Gojo, a win unit that could control, which on paper was a very good draft at the end, but instead of having Juno to strip for the Gojo has to be the one stripping, which means there's no real follow-up after the Gojo strip, and he pretty much had no plan after that. So I think that was not a very good last pick right there. Also, the Juno into the Jongnam was also not looking very good. Seeing no win unit in the first 4 unit, Vinny could safely lock in 2 water to bring down Dark Charm as well. So a very good draft from Vinny.
Yeah, good fundamentals, like you said. You know, play to element advantage. You know, it's like if there's not a lot of pressure, you can pick kind of whatever you want, and Vinny showed us that that's capable. Dark Archon is going to have to do some serious rethinking going into this one, because as much as I love seeing 0-2 in a game, he did get stun locked pretty early, and he didn't have a whole lot of HP to contest with the damage coming from Miles.
And now we got the Kovaci ban, we got the light Gojo ban, Dark Charm getting the first pick. Is he going to steal one of Vinny's unit? He is going to take the Oliver away.
Very good call, taking the Oliver early if he wants it, getting that 33 lead, and Vinny taking Sekhmet and Jongnam, like you've mentioned, some of the most popular units in RTA right now.
And Dakacham's gonna go for the mouse, maybe locking in Rakuni as well to deal with the Jongnam situation right there. Or he can also go with a Juno in this situation, which can be quite decent. And he got a triple element situation going on, but he's gonna go for more single target damage against Vinny.
He's bringing back the Zeratul. I already mentioned what I was talking about. This time I think Dark Archomp has kind of circumvented maybe some of the weaknesses, I'll say, with the Zeratul, purely just by bringing the miles, so that way there's less direct damage coming in. But Jongnam's proven that he is enough with that skill 2 true damage.
On the other hand, Vinny's gonna go for the Chandra and the Gio because Zeratul takes a lot of turn, and that is just a lot of free attack bar for Gio together with Oliver as well. So Gio seems like a very, very good counter right now. So Dakachamp has to go with some sort of healing to make sure that his team is not going to be all stunned up and controlled by Gio alone. Anything in the last week is going to be Juno. Very, very good into the debuff from Vinny right there. Actually, Dakachamp team doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, I actually really like what I like that he brought the Angela back into this, that Wind Pudding Princess, or the Wind Pure Vanilla, as it appears here, the functional equivalent. Vinny putting on pressure with that last pick, the Fire Cassandra.
I think he's going to lock in the Oliver ban if he wanted to find Cassandra to play in this round. But that's not too bad. But then that's leaving Dakachamp with healing and Zeratul, which might be quite challenging. But if you notice, Dakachamp team has 0 defense break, and Zeratul kind of need that to maximize his damage output.
That's a good observation. That's a really good point, actually. He is lacking on the facilitating for the damage there. At least Miles doesn't care about it. Ultimately, Vinny's going to ban out the Angela, and the Federica is off the table.
So Vinny get control, get stripped, get AoE stun. Can Dakachamp live through all that? Can Juno be the one true carrying? Let's find out. First turn, Gio's already moving, and Dakachamp missed the strip stun on a segment. Vinny's looking really good in this situation.
Yeah, he loved that result, and oh my goodness, even the Oliver withstood the strip there, so it's all on segment, and it gets the increased cooldown time. I feel like we haven't seen that happen in a while, Sean.
Hey, he did get increased cooldown time, but now he gotta do that on the Zeratul as well. And beautiful speed tune for the Chandra to move in front of the Jongnam, get a beautiful stun full bar for the Jongnam to do the Gluck Gluck 9000, as I like to call it, and get one of the most tilting violent proc right now in the game, which is the Jongnam after using the Gluck Gluck 9000 to get the skill 3 almost back online after 1 rotation.
Yeah, so now he's ready to do it again. And Vinny is just looking so good, man. But you would expect nothing less from an SWC participant such as himself. Like, he did such a great job in last year's.
And here we go, more damage. And Chandra with a slow debuff to make sure that enemy team is not moving. Even though there's so many debuffs on the team, Juno is loving that. But the heal block is making sure that her healing will not reach the other 2 unit. And they're gonna go down fairly quickly as well to the Chandra damage.
Yeah, this was a very good attempt from Dark Archomp. I like the addition of trying to steal some units. Oh, you know, proc from Oliver. I'm not sure that this is going to lead to anything absolutely game changing, but you know, Oliver's good at doing cool stuff.
But it's hard, man, because the moment you're behind, enemy has a Gio to stop on you, to storm on you when you're down. It's just rough for Dakachamp right here. He gets to move a little bit, and then Gio's just be there, put you on more debuff, and there's nothing you can do. Juno might be very good into Chandra, into segment, but with the Jongnam in here that can do 10,000 whenever he take a turn, it is gonna be impossible for Dakachamp to come back at this point.
You remember when Wusa was doing that sort of damage with his skill 2?
Yeah, now we have Wusa, but with attack bar increase and AoE stun and single target stun.
Vinny with a strong 2-0 for Team GLHF, turning the tides, getting a 2-0, 2 points finally on the board, breaking the curse, as it were, Sean.
Yeah, Vinny bringing back up the rear for the team. And now we're going to game 5, hoping for Team True Whale to get some points here, because we do want to see some intense moment in the next day as well. We don't want to see a team just being beaten down so heavily like that. It doesn't feel too good to watch.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There's a little bit of gap in the play there, right? But I think Dark Archtromp did his best, and he really took advantage of the pick ban phase, the way he was stealing units and stuff. It was very, very well thought out. But ultimately, Vinny is just so strong, and I think we also saw the intensity that Jongnam brings to the table with that skill 2, and of course everything written on that skill 3. Again, go read it if you haven't read it in a little while. But well played both players, and good job on Vinny for getting your team 2 points.
Also, you mentioned Wusa. Remember that? Remember Molong Wusa was a thing back then that, they do a bit of true damage, they snipe, they heal. And nowadays we have Jongnam Maos, who are like Wusa, Molong, but they're both super fast. They stun you half the time, and they just do that every turn.
Yeah, and
it's just crazy.
Miles is still so crazy, dude, because all he cares about is speed and HP, and that's all you need to ruin a decent Miles, and then he'll just take care of the rest, regardless of element, regardless of anything. And here, Sean, is that match 5 that we talked about, Raigeki versus Ladrillo. This is going to be a big one.
All right, Raigeki, Ladrillo, both are SWC NA pro gamers at this point. Pretty much, they are very, very strong, and they probably play one another on the ladder all the time as well. Raigeki being an insane drafter, and Ladrillo has some of the most broken LD5 Exodia comp in the game. I can't wait to see how Raigeki is gonna break it down.
He might have something creative. Honestly, I love watching Raigeki play. Previous America's Cup champion himself too. I think the year was 2022, if I'm not mistaken, that one was. He's done such a good job, made an impact on the game. Happy to see him here in the 5th match slot. I think there's going to be some fun stuff picked. I hope that maybe we get a little break away from Jongnam. I don't know if we will, but I want to bring Zex back to see that snipe again. I want more of that.
Oh, we're gonna see Jongnam for sure. I can guarantee you that. Jongnam's coming back, baby. I can feel the Ciara, Laura, Jongnam from Raigeki a mile away. I can smell what he's cooking over here.
I can hear him through Dark Archtromp's headset right now, that extra gamer headset. That's what I can hear him through. Here we go, guys. Last match of the day for day 1 of the America Summit Champions Peak between GLHF and Under Gods. Does Raigeki have what it takes to get another 2 points for Under Gods? Or will Ladrillo get the next point for GLHF?
Man, Raigeki is fighting darkness himself. That is crazy.
Yeah, he's doing it. He's doing the best right now. Ladrillo also has that #1 finish there with the legend title.
Oh, Evan, he got you right there. Jongnam first pick. Who would have thought?
Well, I'm asking for that's a pretty tough ask from me, I guess, man, because he is the most popular unit right now, so I get it.
All right, I think Raigeki is going to be locking in some sort of Ciara, Laura, Volantis here to deal with this situation coming out from Ladrillo. And we're going to be seeing some Gianna come out from Ladrillo as well, if I know these two players well enough.
Dude, you're making great calls already. The Ciara, half of what you suggested is already here. It looks like Raigeki's going to bring some elemental diversity with the Fire Twin Angels, and Ladrillo is going to respond with the Mi Ying Velajewel.
I kind of like the rise of the Fire Twin Angel in the meta. It was made out to be like this Julian killer when Julian was super popular, and then it kind of faded away and nobody really cared about his unit until they gave it 2-turn immunity, and now it is like another Jack of all trade unit where it can support a team with cooldown, buff immunity, one-shot enemy target, and do all of that all the time. It's kind of fun to see.
Yeah, it's a good monster that's finally getting more attention. We got all the different RGB Twin Angels getting some representation finally. Oh, and there goes the Laura, the other prophesied unit that you shouted out there. Let's see what Ladrillo answers back with.
And the Juno as well. Same getting picked up here to deal with the Laura buff. No, it's gonna be a shower, as I like to call him, being the last pick here, where you need a bit of everything and you don't know exactly what to do, and he's gonna come up.
It's a real easy way to clean up a Ciara and a Juno. honestly. And I guess Raigeki identified that and took him out accordingly.
So I think Ladrillo's gonna turn one, but we've seen a lot of segment misses today. So can this rank 1 player of the world, one of the strongest player segment, perform differently?
Let's see. And also,
is it lagging
the
for you?
fact that there's Mi Ying and a Velajul here, I would say Ladrillo is really well equipped to deal with all the incidental crowd control that Raigeki is going to bring in this game.
Oh, I think we got a little bit of a technical problem here where the draft was too strong that froze the game for a little bit. But hey, I can't to say, if segment miss, I think Raigeki is gonna be doing a lot of work right there. But if segment lands or something and Ladrillo gets the buff immunity, I think Raigeki is gonna be in a lot of trouble because he only has Juno for the strip, and Juno can also be controlled by Oliver.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, the sheer amount of aura being presented in that pick ban phase was too much for the game. We'll get that back shortly. I love seeing the Mi Ying in the game too. It's like you said, man, it's like I think Ladrillo is feeling pretty well equipped right now, and with the amount of damage he's presenting, I think he could take care of the Juno.
Potentially, yeah. Mi Ying is crazy underrated by most players out there. I think Mi Ying was one of the, like, I would say, D tier LD5 for the longest time. He's always being compared to like Feng Yin, being like, oh, the attack type Feng Yin, but like bad, while Feng Yin being really, really good. And now he's like the unit to pick all the time in RTA because there's always some sort of stun going on. Then Mi Ying can come in between, buff the thing, and then you combine Mi Ying with immunity to kind of buy him some time to get the passive back, or combine him with like Hey Gang to utilize the healing over time as like a buff to bait the strip so that he can gain attack ban cleanse. Is a very complicated situation with Mi Ying going on, but somehow he's getting insane win rate in even the highest rank in RTA and being used by a lot of endgame player.
You said it, man. I never would have expected Mi Ying to be in this position like back in the day, because it's so true that people would just shorthand him. He's attack Feng Yen, and now all of a sudden he's kind of like, he is still attack Feng Yen, but he's hybridized with like Josephine all of a sudden, so you can bring him into these weird comps too. It's very fun to watch him play. So overall, do you favor Ladrillo over Raigeki purely based on the pick ban phase that we saw?
I think it's going to be hard because they are both relying a little bit on landing the thing that they need to land turn one, instead of like, because when you run single target strip, you miss that and you doom instead of AoE. Oh, I think something happened. Oh, here we go. First start. Oh, he land that strip onto the Jongnam, and immunity is going to go up. Let's see if he can control the Juno as well to keep the strip away. Oh
it's
my God.
As foretold, man. You called it out. You were saying that Oliver can take care of the Juno, and that's exactly what happened. So now Ladrillo gets to rest according to having 3 turns of immunity on him, and Ciara gets a couple awkward turns.
Pretty much. And the fight to an Angel doesn't have any strip in build. It does have immunity, but the defense rate is already on to the Juno, which means the Mi Ying and the Velajul can finish off this strip unit. And I think Ladrillo immunity is gonna stay for a very long time without being being disturbed here, and looking really bad for Raigeki. But oh my God, the Mi Ying shake off his own immunity by mistake, proccing a little bit too much right there.
Yeah, sometimes the procs just get out of control. You know, the 22%.
Oh.
And look at that. It was a series of unfortunate events in the sense that he procced out of immunity, and then he also activated his passive when you don't necessarily want to.
Pretty much. Now he lost all his self-protection. He can eat the bomb, get stunned at the same time, but he chose to go for the segment first. Could not finish off the segment at half health. This segment is beefy.
Also, Despair Ciara stunning up the Mi Ying with skill 3.
Oh yeah, you saw that too. I didn't see that. And that was clean, keeping the Mi Ying down for longer.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is the perfect window here. It's like Mi Ying's passive is down. He's even got the counter attack up, which is even worse because that means you can freely attack into him. And he's just going to burn that. Is a really well played by Raigeki right now. He could be turning this around. Dude, they're trying to hide the turnaround here. The counter is too much.
Velajul needs to do some magic here. Can he do it? He did not do it. A series of very bad events for Ladrillo. even though he got a series of good events to start the fight, but after that, his immunity went out a little bit too quickly. But right now, Oliver's getting a turn. Big damage on the Ciara. Velaju getting a turn. Can Velaju buff immunity and proc? No proc for the Velaju, which means I think Raigeki might be having the upper hand here because Jongnam's about to go in on this Velaju.
Yeah, he really did a good job at turning this game around because Jongnam is going to age really well into this game.
Oh no, bomb coming down onto another unit once again. Huge damage, taking down the Oliver. Ladrillo got such a good turn 1, and then Raigeki came back too strong.
Oh my god. Raigeki is ready for this matchup, man. He did such a great job with that one. Oh my goodness.
Man, that Mi Ying accidentally just take off his immunity. Not a good sign, man. You don't want to do that.
Low-key, that was the moment when the game fell out of Ladrillo's hands. It's like, we've seen a lot of advantageous violent procs tonight. That was an example of a violent proc that you really hate. That's actually what I would say is a very niche example of one of the risks of running violent, especially if you plan on running units that buff immunity.
Pretty much. Unfortunately, that's the case. But now we're moving on to game 2 with the Silver being pre-banned, with the Jongnam, Segment, Oliver, all on the screen right now at the same time. But we're switching hands here. Now Jongnam's in the hands of Ladrillo. And Jongnam being one of the highest win rate unit in the game for a reason. We got the Dark Nezuko first appearance in today's game with the Water Twin Angel. So Dark Nezuko can cleanse, can immunity, can team up. And teaming up means reduce cooldown for all these units. So with 2 units to decrease cooldown, I think that's going to be a Jongnam without cooldown. That can be quite scary.
Yeah, that's cool. You've gotten a chance to play with this unit some, huh? Do you like the Dark Nezuko?
I really like it. I like it in Siege content as well. She's really fun to play with. You can pair with a lot of different strong skill 1 unit. Like you can see the Jongnam here with the stun and the skill 1. It can be very, very fun. And Ladrillo is going in with a ragdoll as well to utilize the bruiser immunity style play here, and he got so many other options to put out in the last pick here. I wonder what's that gonna be.
I ultimately like that I like what he's landed on here. I think now what Ladrillo might need to do is just put more pressure on Raigeki this time. Raigeki's trying to take turn 1, take out a unit easily. I don't know, which draft do you favor the most here, Sean?
I like Raigeki draft more because he is actually not relying too much on RNG, while Ladrillo is relying a bit on RNG with the LD5 Vertiheel in the form of Volantis right there, because I feel like Raigeki might be outspeeding with the Segment, and he's praying for that. He's praying for the Segment and the Light Twin Angel to outspeed and land their thing, and if that happens, I think Raigeki will have this game in the bag.
And he goes out for the increased cooldown time, lands it on the Volantis. This is potentially the last game of the day with Raigeki sitting at max point. Ladrillo needs to turn this around and get a point on the board for his team. Otherwise, Raigeki will run away with the game. Ooh, we got a reaction out of Raigeki after that move.
He got the strip. I think he was hoping to decrease the cooldown time of the Water Twin Angel, but he could not get it done. The Water Twin Angel stripped the Ciara for the Volantis stun, but could not get the stun. Ciara still get a bomb out. Ciara is on despair, remember that. So that skill 3 is also a potential quad stun coming out from Ciara. And here we go. Oh, never mind. I think it happened. Oops. Jongnam starting her cycle. And this is bad for Raigeki, man.
Oh man, the turnaround, and all of a sudden Raigeki looks to be the one that got AoE stunned after that. That's a bummer. That low results, low roll for Ciara, but still in an advantageous position, to be honest. Raigeki's team really showing its stuff here. He's able to, he may be able to confirm the kill on the Nezuko with the next monster that moves, unless Jongnam has something to say.
He could not.
The cleanse! Wait, I thought, oh, he reset the Volantis. I was expecting, I forgot about that. I thought he reset the Nezuko.
Man, the 2 mini heal from the Jongnam and the Water Twin Angel was enough to keep the next score alive, to do the team up. And now Volante's skill 3 is back up. Jongnam's skill is about to be back soon. Water Twin Angel's skill is about to be back soon. And there's nothing that this Light Twin Angel can do with double immunity on these 2 units that's about to AoE his entire team. And here we go. Volante's coming out with the AoE. Oh, he didn't stun too much though. That was very good for Raigeki.
Raigeki really wanted to take a
that,
kill.
That damage!
Oh no! Raigeki felt that one in his bones, dude. Oh no! At the worst time, Ciara misses the bomb.
But it's okay because the Light Twin Angel increased cooldown to Jongnam earlier, so he did not have the skill 3 available, and he get another increased cooldown. This might be it. Raigeki is one step closer to winning this game for his team, and there's nothing that Jongnam can do unless he proc 2 violence in a row.
Which, what are the odds? Yeah, there we go. No! And he's down. Raigeki with the 2-0 against Ladrillo.
GG! Raigeki is gonna be today's winner for the very last round, concluding a very dominating round for his team. Incredible performance by Raigeki.
Wow, the wins for Undergods are unprecedented. That was 4 out of 5 matches that they just won, right, Sean?
Yeah, that was incredible. And a lot of them were 2-0 as well. They didn't give True Whale's team a chance to gain a point in between right there.
That was absolutely insane performance from Undergods. Really well done. It really goes to show the amount of preparation that they did heading into this tournament. And that's so fun. Here are the highlights from that game. They're going to be pretty quick. Raigeki took that one to go.
Wow, that Ciara surviving with a sliver of health actually made a huge difference because she was the one to kill Jongnam. She was the one to kill Volantis. She just a bit more damage and that Ciara could have died, and I think Ladrillo would have had the game. But Raigeki's Ciara was just too tanky.
Too tanky, 2 on despair too. I mean, it did come into play that much, to be honest. He got 1 good stun the whole game, but still, that was pretty awesome, man. Raigeki really showing his stuff. We talked about it, but I think Raigeki always brings some creativity to his games in some way or another, and he prepared well against Ladrillo, which is a high compliment. Again, a lot of kudos goes to GLHF members today because they're all great players and they put up a good fight. But man, Zazos as the team captain of Undergods, you know, that whole team really prepped, clearly.
Yeah, really strong team. And now True team is under a lot of pressure from this week because they could not win a whole lot. I think they got 1 point. No, they got 2 points from Vinny, and was it 1 point from someone else? Barely anything.
Yes, I did, but I can't remember exactly which game it was. Wow, 8-3. So there were 3 instances of points. 8-3 is what it was. Undergods leading 8-3. Look at that. And I believe 6-6 was the previous one as well, if I'm remembering that correctly, between True Dolphins and Tears. But we'd have to go back and double check. 8-3, big lead for Undergods. What a great way to start off round 1 of the Americas Summit this year, Sean.
Yeah, very intense, very fun matches and incredible performance by all the players. There was so many swing as well. And next week, same time, right? Next week, same time, we're going to be here once again to see the other teams fighting for their points as well. So stay tuned, follow the channels, and we'll be seeing you guys here next week once again for the America Summit this year. Starting off very fun already, Evan.
That's right. It's going to be a big one, guys. So make sure you stay tuned for everything America Summit. Don't miss a beat. We got the next round next Friday. Use command SWGC as well if you happen to be in Twitch chat. Sign up for the Guardians Club if you think you could register. It's a great way to get some of the most exclusive merch Summoners War has to offer. And if you're in North America, go ahead and try to sign up for that command SWGC. Folks, this has been so much fun. Sean, what a blast, man. I loved commentating this with you.
Yeah, that was very fun, and I hope that True World team will perform really strong in the upcoming weeks. But I think next week we're gonna have 2 fresh teams, so it's gonna be very fun to watch, and I would love to see you guys here again, same time, same place next week.
Don't miss it, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.